97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell media station.
It's Robby and Rexrode with Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
And welcome into the Friday edition of Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game, brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezovic, intern Nick here with you on this Friday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. We already got a text on the text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Rainey texting in says, I want to wish every Timberwolves fan a very sad Friday. Hashtag Grizz.
Ooh, okay. Talking some trash to the T-Wolves Nation.
I like it.
Yeah, that's a toughie for them. Up 26, blow it. Then back up 25, blow it. And really just dominated the fourth quarter.
I don't know that I've ever seen anything quite like that in terms of just there's like the still shot when it's, I don't know, 83-57 or whatever the score was. And then there's the still shot when the Timberwolves have scored 2 more points and the Grizzlies have tied the game.
It's like 86-85.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
Okay.
Yeah, that's I got to agree with Charles Barkley. First of all, credit to the Grizzlies. I mean, when they get it going, and Brandon Clark, the way he played, defense of Jaren Jackson, but man, the Timberwolves, like Barkley said, like they're just dumb sometimes. Some of their shots and their turnovers just feed those runs.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a lot of possessions in there where it's just like, just don't do something disastrous on this. I mean, sometimes, you miss a good shot. That's fine. But way too many of them were like, wait, what are you doing? But good for the Grizzlies for taking advantage. I think Grizzlies-Warriors is going to be happening soon here. And boy, is that going to be a series.
Yeah, it is. Grizzlies, big win last night, 104-95. The Warriors win last night as well. I mean, Ja Morant, for his standards, I mean, he didn't play overly well last night. He only had 16 points in the game. He shot 5 of 18 from the field. He still ends up with a triple-double in the playoffs. So if that's your bad game, I'll probably take it if I'm Ja Morant at that point. But he's a plus 20 when he's on the floor last night. Desmond Bain, 26 points to lead the way for the Grizzlies in terms of scoring last night. But
huge shots.
What a comeback by Memphis. I mean, I looked up, and I went out to eat with my family last night and got back home, and they were just getting destroyed early in the second quarter. And I tweeted out, I was like, anybody tell the Grizzlies what time the game starts tonight? And I guess they just started an hour later.
They said, how about now?
Once they figured out what time the game was on, what a run by the Grizzlies last night.
Yeah, Morant had 7 turnovers too, and some bad ones. I mean, he missed. He had the sequence when it was really close, where he missed both free throws, but then they get an offensive rebound. He gets 5 for 10 from the line. Just kind of a weird night for him. But that's also, look, this team played great when they didn't have him, and Taylor Jenkins took him out for about probably 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, which surprised me a little bit.
Yep.
But he keeps him fresh, and like they can play without him. You get like you said, Desmond Bain is so important, but Brandon Clark last night to me was the story of like, where did that guy come from? I mean, he's been a good player for them, but boy, he came up huge. And Karl Anthony Towns takes 4 shots. How the heck does that happen? I don't know.
And then his press conference is even worse.
Oh, was it?
What'd he say?
He somebody just asked a question, how do you evaluate your performance or whatever. He's like, next question. And then somebody asked another one about, how are you going to get back and be better essentially. And he's like, I'm going to just go drink some wine tonight. And yeah.
It's kind of like that go-to response of
how BBN of him.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe, don't start with me.
Learn from the best at Cal.
Oh, man.
Brushing things aside.
No accountability with BBN, I guess.
None whatsoever. I can't believe that he took 4 shots in the game in 33 minutes. That makes no sense to me.
Me either.
I could understand 4 shots and like 8 possessions for Minnesota for Karl-Anthony Towns. But hey.
I know, yeah. No, it's – and then when they went – when they were building these leads, it was – D'Angelo Russell. Yep. They were getting some turnovers and things like that and getting in transition, but they never really established him or went to him, and it's very strange. But they don't play smart basketball, like Charles Barkley said.
Well, that's such a big swing, right? You're up by 26 points at home in Game 3 when the series tied 1-1. Obviously, that's something you got to close out. But now that you haven't, you've allowed Memphis not only to regain home court advantage, but how do you come back from that? That's got to be – that's not your average playoff loss if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's a punch right to the chest if you're the Timberwolves in that game.
Yeah, that's that might break them. That might break them. Now, if you're on their side of the things, you can look at a lot of film and say, so look at all this time against them the other night where we completely dominated them.
Yeah.
Back in this building, you can tie it up. You've won one on their floor, but – it's possible. Crazier things have happened in playoff series. But, yeah, I'm with you. I feel like this could really leave a mark.
LD from McMinnville on the text line says, go Warriors. So we got some Warriors fans infiltrating the text line this morning.
Oh, boy. It's
Did you stay up and watch that thing last night?
No, I did not. I stayed up and watched the first quarter, and, you're watching Jordan Poole start to look. Clay is hot right from the start, and then Steph comes right off the bench, hits a 3. I'm like, boy, you get Poole, Clay, and Steph shooting, and then again, if you watch Golden State, if you've watched them over the years, Draymond Green really is like the key to them on both ends. Not scoring, but he gets the people the shots, and then he's the best defender in the league, and they're a title contender. They're back around to being a title contender, but I think the Grizzlies are too. I'm already fast forwarding in my mind to that series. That will be a stay up for the whole thing every time they play series.
My guess is Steph Curry probably won't be coming off the bench in that series either. He's still playing 31 minutes, so he might as well not be coming off the bench. But
probably not. But honestly, I kind of it's just a
6th man of the year next year, Steph Curry.
Sometimes some of your best players are 6 men, and you basically just shave off 4 or 5 minutes, from their total doing it that way. I don't know. Maybe they found something. Either way, those 3.
Not even a starter anymore. How the mighty have fallen.
Yeah.
Steph Curry.
MVP in the first month of the year, coming off the bench.
What's funny, he's just chilling too. He's dapping everybody up. They're announcing the starters. Steph's just chilling, and like you said, just comes off the bench and
just immediately starts raining threes.
You tweeted this out last night. It's amazing to watch just the difficult plays that Ja Morant makes look routine, whether that's hanging in the air for what seems like 5 seconds. He had this block last night where I swear he was suspended in time and space when he got that block last night. The pass that he's not even looking on the other side of the court, and it's right between the numbers where you can catch it and shoot all in one motion. The dude's freaking unbelievable.
Yeah, as much as he's a contortionist and an unbelievable, athlete, fun to watch and everything. He is as good as I think of people like Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson, and just the best point guards in the history of the game. A lot of their plays they make are just very simple, but they're a little bit quicker than a lot of point guards make them. It's like you get it to him right now. That help is coming, boom, and it's there, and the shot's up, and it's in because it's in rhythm and it's right where the ball needs to be. He does that so often. Just the right play. I think from a coaching perspective, I'm sure it's got to be a dream. Again, also because he can just get to the rim and dunk on everyone and do these ridiculous things. But he has the game on a string. So last night, 5 for 18, 5 for 10 from the line, 7 turnovers, and sometimes he gets a little risky with some of those skip passes and stuff. But still, the 10 assists, most of them are just perfectly placed and timed passes. That it's a lot. It's just not nearly as easy as he makes it look.
Joe, another good night for the Predators last night without playing. Dallas loses again on their Canadian road trip, so they lose to Calgary last night. So the Stars 0-3 in their last 3 games, so they remain 2 points back of the Predators. and the Preds now have 1 game in hand on the Stars as well. Vancouver loses last night as well. So Vancouver and Vegas have kind of been in that race together. Vancouver falls to the Wild last night. Kevin Fiala went nuts and was amazing last night against the Canucks. So if you're Vancouver, you're at 78 games played. You're 6 points back of the Preds at this point. You're only 4 back of the Stars, but you're in a world of hurt with 4 games left to play. I think it's probably just going to be too little too late from them. But all of a sudden, I mean, it's pretty interesting with Dallas and Vegas, especially given the fact that they play each other next week. Vegas 2 points back of the Stars right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because bottom line for the Preds is we don't know how these last 5 games are going to go, and they're tough. But who do you root for, Dallas? Because you're now back in you're in a position of strength now to get the first wild card. You know, I mean, you've got a game in hand, so you could look at it like a 4-point lead, but you got a game in hand, 2-point lead. You know, Vegas could help you by beating them, but then again, if Dallas wins that game, that basically kills Vegas. So, wouldn't that be better for you? I guess it kind of just depends on what you do this weekend.
Yeah.
If you have a bad weekend,
probably Dallas
then you're rooting for Dallas. If you have a good weekend, then keep that first wild card, make it Calgary. That's a better situation for you.
By the way, the Preds taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning coming up tomorrow. That was a very strong message delivered by the Tampa Bay Lightning last night. They win 8-1 against Toronto, who at the moment would be their first-round opponent.
Yeah, how about that? What's up with that? 8-1. 2 days after losing the Red Wings.
Look, I still say
when they want to kill someone,
when they are engaged. I mean, look, they've won 2 cups in the last 2 years, and they're just playing out the string right now. I know that you want to bring your best to the table every night, but when you've been playing hockey as much as they've played the last 3 years, you're just not going to have the same intensity level every night. I still think, and I said it before the year, everybody's talking about Colorado, everybody's talking about Florida right now. Oh, that's great, and they could absolutely win. When those guys want to play, I still think they're as good as anybody.
I agree. So Dallas, real quick. They go out west. They lose 3 in a row. They get outscored 15-6 in those 3 games.
Yeah.
It's just bad. But they finish with Seattle at home, Vegas at home, Arizona at home, Anaheim at home.
Yep.
I mean, as bad as it looks right now, I mean, I like their chances to possibly get 8 points there. So, actually, when you look at their schedule, I still think you're probably, if you're the Preds, rooting for the Golden Knights in that game.
You very well could be. The schedule's easier for them coming down the stretch now. You know, they just lost at home to New Jersey a couple weeks ago and had to scrap one out against San Jose. So, I just don't think they're playing all that well right now, but absolutely, they've got a chance to pick up some points here. Going to be interesting coming down the stretch. We'll get more into the Preds a little bit later in the show. Coming up next, I will be joined by Terry Crisp at 8:30 as well. Interesting comments made yesterday at Titans Media Availability with John Robinson and Mike Vrabel. We'll get into those next. Let me tell you about my friends at the Nashville Predators, though. You can join the Nashville Predators Smashville Open House event tomorrow, April the 23rd. Have you ever wanted to see inside the Preds locker room? Well, don't miss your chance at the Smashville Open House. All fans can sign up for a chance to shoot on net to win 2 lower-level half-season tickets, and it's your first chance to pick your seats for the 2022-23 season. Plus, they'll have Preds locker room tours, they'll have complimentary popcorn and Coca-Cola products, and 50% off all other food and beverage options as well. You can save 30% off all Stadium Series merchandise at the Nashville locker room. So check out the Smashville Open House coming up tomorrow. You can check out the Preds as they take on the Tampa Bay Lightning as well on the road. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Join ESPN 102.5 The Game for the Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament. Benefiting Folds of Honor on May 16th at Hermitage Golf Course. Put your team together and come play with the athletes, musicians, and other local celebrities. The Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament. Sign up at theGameNashville.com/golf.
Kelly Blue Book Instant Cash Offer is an offer to buy your car. Enter your vehicle ID info, answer some questions, then get an obligation offer to sell or trade it. For all of the its, KBB.com it.
Winning this award is truly like winning the Super Bowl of car dealer awards for Mercedes-Benz.
Edwin Vickery, General Manager of Mercedes-Benz of Music City.
Culture eats strategy for lunch. You have to hit on all cylinders to win this award. You can strategize all you want. You got to still have the right tools, and our tools are our people.
Live the dream with 3-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best Award winner, Mercedes-Benz of Music City. Go to mbofmc.com.
This summer, saddle up in Smashville as the Music City hosts the hottest party of the summer, WWE SummerSlam. Nashville. For the first time ever at Nissan Stadium. A little bit country, a little bit rock and roll, a whole lot of kick-ass. WWE SummerSlam. Saturday, July 30th. Live worldwide from Music City's Nissan Stadium. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.
What makes mulch so lovable? The texture? The smell? Well, it's not just people that love mulch. Your plants do too. Retaining moisture and regulating soil temps, it's the whole package. And when you use Scott's Earthgrow or exclusive Vigoro wood mulches, you can even pick the color. What's not to love? Stop in for mulch and everything else you need this season. It feels like spring at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone, America's #1 brakes destination. We have the pads, rotors, drums, shoes, and brake fluids to improve your stopping power. Right now, save 15% when you get any 2 Duralast rotors with a set of Duralast brake pads. Missing a tool? Ask about our free Loan-A-Tool program and borrow the tools you need to get the job done.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the MPD Group 2021. Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool.
Starting a garden. It's kind of like starting a family. You care for it, watch it grow, and if you get the right brand, like Bonnie Plants Harvest Select, you watch it grow a lot. You start to feel a real bond with your plant family. Just don't name them, because they're gonna be delicious. Get help donating your surplus to local food banks from the Home Depot and ampleharvest.org. It feels like spring at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
At the United States Postal Service, we deliver packages fast and affordably, so you can give your customers what they want when they need it. We're delivering for one-stop shops, mom and pops, pop-ups, startups, retail, wholesale, large scale, small biz, big box, customers, customizers. So no matter what business you're in, we'll always be delivering for you. USPS, delivering for America. Learn more at usps.com/delivering.
Interact with Robby and Rexrode. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Is there any chance that AJ could be traded between now and that?
I think I've spoke on that several times now, so do not foresee that happening.
That was John Robinson yesterday at his media availability with Mike Vrabel, the pre-draft availability for the Titans as the draft takes place. Thankfully, less than a week from now, Joe Rexrode, the draft will begin. Next Thursday will be NFL Draft Day, and lots of discussion of A.J. Brown yesterday. John Robinson didn't go that far into it. Obviously was not going to talk about the contract negotiations themselves and pointed out that that's not really something that he does, but also said that does not foresee that he's going to be trading A.J. Brown at this point either. So there's a lot to sort through yesterday from the press conference with John Robinson and Mike Vrabel. What kind of stands out to you? And when it comes to A.J. Brown, what did you make of the way that those things were handled yesterday, even though you even asked him about some Instagram Live? Got an interesting response from J-Rob yesterday.
Yeah.
Vimeo. Vimeo was the one that was going to come to mind to me.
That was a funny reference to Vimeo from J-Rob. Well, I think it's been an amazing offseason of trying to interpret John Robinson, like exact wording. I do not foresee that happening. Because this always happens. Someone says something like that, and then someone is going to react like, there it is, end it, everyone, drop it. Like, I do not foresee that happening.
Yep.
That doesn't end it to me. It leaves some wiggle room, which, again, you should leave some wiggle room because you don't know what's going to happen. John Robinson doesn't know who might call him that day. and offer him so much ridiculous stuff that you have to change your mind. When he got Jared asked him specifically, do you foresee trading him? That led to the, to the answer. But before that, he said, I've talked about this countless times or whatever. I do not foresee that happening. I know I could actually read the transcript and give you the exact words, but I took that honestly. I walked away from that like, keep him open mind here. The whole thing, all of it in the last couple days. I just don't know, just don't know where A.J. Brown is on things, and is A.J. like, I don't know where A.J. Brown is on what his expectation is for the contract. I think the Titans absolutely want to keep him, should keep him, need to try to do everything they can to keep him, but I didn't walk away from there yesterday thinking like, forget about this. This is not a story. Move on. I mean, you have a draft coming up, and you can always go into the situation where you're just going to have a holdout and it's just going to drag on, and that happens sometimes, and it's not the end of the world. But if this is going to become something that's just that you just can't come together on, well, then it'd be good to have the outcome by the draft, because you can, of course, really help yourself if you have to move them. I mean, I'm open, again, not expecting it, but I'm open to that possibility now, like I wasn't, last week.
Yeah, like I don't think that John Robinson's plan is to trade A.J. Brown. I think that he would obviously like to get him signed. But to your point, as a general manager, like you can't just totally close yourself off from other opportunities as well. And, if you have an inkling that you're just not going to be able to land A.J. Brown at the number that you're comfortable with, then maybe you do explore that option with the draft. Like it would be a shame to, have that happen, and then the draft has come and gone, and there's only a limited amount of teams that you're dealing with when it comes to potentially moving on from A.J. Brown and the compensation that would come along with that. So, yeah, I mean, this week makes sense to try to figure that out as close as possible if you're John Robinson and the Titans. I still think, they want to have him here and they want to get a long-term deal done with A.J. Brown. But I didn't take that yesterday as, it was absolutely slamming the door on it. But I still, when he was, I guess, as strong as he was in terms of no, I don't foresee that. I've spoken on that a couple times now. Like, obviously, they want A.J. Brown to be a part of this team.
Yeah, no question. They should.
So.
He's, I think in the history of the Tennessee Titans in terms of performance here, you're not counting, Randy Moss and Andre Johnson and Julio Jones, other places. The best receiver was Derek Mason.
Yep.
And A.J. Brown to me is, he's the guy who could be the best receiver. I mean, shoot, he's the guy who could be the best receiver in franchise history, frankly. I mean, I think he's that good, but this is a big moment. Ben on the text line says best case might end up being let him walk in 2023.
I would argue that may be the worst case.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I mean, you can always go with the okay, we're not going to get a deal. Well, you play on the last year of your rookie deal, and then we can tag you, and so then you can play here and very unhappily for the next 2 years. But it's just. I don't think anybody wants to get into that situation. We've talked before about, does it make sense to do the deal early? Or do you want to see, hey, it'd be great to have more information and know for sure that he's going to be healthy for a year, know for sure that he's going to reach that level, which I think everyone who watches him knows he's capable of reaching, but that's just not reality right now. I think you got to figure out if there's a way to get this done. And obviously the pressure's coming from his side too. I mean, now I don't know if the whole Instagram Live thing, which by the way, I do not buy John Robinson. I mean, come on, man. You watched this thing. Yeah. Someone came in your office and showed you the Instagram. Come on.
You seen this?
And maybe a Vimeo.
Maybe it was on
too.
Vimeo.
Yeah, maybe. What is Vimeo? I honestly don't even know what Vimeo is.
I don't even either, so.
Yeah, I remember Vimeo.
I do too. I've seen some Vimeos. I just don't know what it is.
Someone let us know.
I spent a whole lot of time there.
What was his other reference? He referenced like Instagram.
Snapchat.
Yeah, Snapchat. There you go. Good job. Vimeo is just a professional video platform, according to Google. The world's only all-in-one video solution.
J-Rob's big Vimeo guy.
All right. But come on, like you've seen that, right? You've heard. I mean, you have to know if the guy you're negotiating with is whether he was totally compliant or not is basically airing the laundry on the internet, then you got to know that because that to me, I'd be pretty ticked off if I were John Robinson and Mike Vrabel about that. But it's that side, and again, I don't know if it's coordinated, like totally coordinated or not. If it was well played as just impromptu. I don't think it. But regardless, it happened. It's out there, and then all the social media stuff happened, and we know what's going on with these other receivers. And you've got the same agent, and I just feel like you've got to be feeling awfully urgent right now if you're the Titans.
Well, I think so too. And going back to Ben's text, to me, that there's not a scenario where the best case is him walking away. Like you're either signing him to a long-term deal, or you're getting assets for him. To me, I mean that's kind of the way I view it. But the walking away after next year, that would be the worst-case scenario if you're asking me.
Like you have a chance right now if you can't make it work, which would be bad because you could go through all these draftees and you can get a pick and go high enough to get the one you like, and there is no guarantee at all that they're going to be what A.J. Brown is. But if this is what has to happen, now you can actually recoup things and you can adjust quickly here and you can draft accordingly. I mean, it changes your strategy pretty significantly if you're not going to have A.J. Brown. So,
NWI, wide receiver 1.
Maybe. Bobby Trees and NWI in a battle for WR1. I mean, who knows? So many things could happen here. But no, I don't think him walking is a good idea.
I don't think so either. We'll continue to take your thoughts on the Titans on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. We'll get to Mike Vrabel's comments on Ryan Tannehill and Caleb Farley as well coming up on the other side. Go to thegamenashville.com/deals to check out Nashville's best deals. Right now there are deals including half off for 312 Pizza Company, the Woodhouse Spa, Brooklyn Bowl, plus experience a 60-minute float session from Float Horizon for just $39.50. Check out all of Nashville's best deals now at thegamenashville.com/deals. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
The 2022 Major League Soccer season is officially here, and the Nashville SC Stadium nearly complete. Don't miss Nashville SC's home opener May 1st. Grab a seat at nashvillesc.com/22ticks.
When it's more than just your lawn, it deserves the Kubota Z400. Get a head-turning offer on class-leading speed, agility, simple deck height adjustments, and a quality cut. When you need comfort and performance, then you need the professional-grade Kubota Z400. Right now, get the Kubota Z400 mower for 0 down, 0% APR for 36 months, or save $300. Now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Come see why Coleman Tractor Company is one of the largest Kubota dealers in Middle Tennessee, with 4 locations to serve you in Paris, Clarksville, Nashville, and their new location in White House.
Family Leisure invites you to vacation at home with a new spa, pool, patio furniture, or wood play gym this summer.
I really want a spa.
40 spas on display from Artesian, Best Spas, and American Select.
Prices starting as low as $29.99.
Family Leisure has over 100 sets of patio furniture with free delivery.
That sounds good to me, too.
We should really look at the wood play gyms for the kids. Family Leisure has the Diamond Point swing set on sale at only $24.99 installed. Family Leisure's vacation at home sale in Franklin and Antioch.
Family and fun come together.
Genesis Diamond's once-a-year spring extravaganza is here this weekend. 3 days of phenomenal savings store-wide. You save up to 35% off Genesis already guaranteed best prices. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, and more. Plus special finance. You can even trade in your old jewelry for some amazing new designs from our world-class designers who flew in just for this. Extra savings on GIA-certified diamonds, too. It's our biggest sale all year. This Friday through Sunday only. And only at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. See store for details.
Hey, it's Jared for TriStar Moving. If you're looking to move, you need to give my friends at TriStar Moving a call. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service throughout the entire process. Everything will be taken care of, from covering your floors, banisters, railings, front door thresholds, furniture, TVs, and more. They took great care of my move and made it as stress-free as possible. If you're looking to move, give TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit them at nashvillemoving.org/radio and get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
O'Reilly.
If
If your vehicle squeals or grinds when you slow down or just isn't stopping like it used to, you may need new brakes. Through May 24th, check out the spring brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts and get 15% off a set of Brake Best Select or Import Direct brake pads with 2 rotors. Restore safe braking and save money now at O'Reilly Auto Parts or shop online at O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Mary had a little gnat, little gnat, little gnat. Mary had a little gnat that flew around her home. Everywhere a Zevo glows, Zevo glows, Zevo glows, and everywhere a Zevo glows, the gnat was sure to go.
Zevo traps use blue and UV light, not odors or chemical insecticides, to attract and trap flying insects. Just plug it in and trap bugs around the clock. Zevo, people friendly, bug deadly. Now at a store near you.
ESPN's Turon Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Philip Forsberg. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Seltzerland is turning Nashville into a hard seltzer paradise on Saturday, April 30th at Riverside Golf Links. You can enjoy this one-of-a-kind immersive experience as you spend the day tasting over 100 unique hard seltzers, indulge in mouth-watering munchies, tons of seltzer swag, and bust out the gram for the most Insta-worthy moments. Seltzerland has rounded up the best hard seltzer brands in the land for one epic day dedicated to the bubbly brew everyone can't get enough of. Go to theGameNashville.com/contest to enter for your chance to win tickets to Seltzerland. Speaking of Seltzerland, I've got some tickets to give away. Be caller number 3, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Caller number 3 will win a 4-pack of tickets to Seltzerland coming up on Saturday, April 30th at Riverside Golf Link, 615-737-1025. Joe, you asked Mike Vrabel yesterday about Ryan Tannehill and not being in the building at this point. Thought his response was interesting. Here's what Mike Vrabel had to say yesterday at his press conference.
More important, Mike, for Ryan Tannehill to be here? Actually, for both of you, that question. Is he missing anything of real value here, not being here right now?
I've had communications with Ryan. Again, as the head coach, I want every single player here. I would love to see that happen. Had communications with Ryan, and I'm comfortable where those are at, and expect him back here pretty shortly.
So that was Vrabel yesterday at his press conference with the old "I want every player to be here" line, but did say at the end that he expects Tannehill back shortly. What did you make of the way they handled the Ryan Tannehill not being at voluntary workouts part of this yesterday?
Yeah, so I have to be influenced here by driving to a soccer game yesterday and listening to Jared talk about this.
Okay.
He read a lot into that. I know you're going to be surprised. He read a lot into that because it wasn't just I guess some oh, we're totally fine with Ryan, just coming out. That it means that Vrabel's actually ticked about it. Now, Vrabel may be ticked about it. I'm not saying he isn't, but I don't. It's hard to read much into what he said. He said about what you would expect. I mean, he's right. Every coach wants all these players to be there. If Vrabel was mad, and specifically mad because he figures that the quarterback should really want to be taking ownership and should be there, I wouldn't expect Vrabel to say so. Can you read into those comments can you read into, the tone or anything? I know, you tell me. I couldn't much.
I didn't think it was. I think it was basically, yeah, he'll be here soon.
Right.
Don't really care.
Yeah.
And I think, I think he really does want everybody to be there, but Vrabel's talked about this 1,000 times in terms of he also understands the voluntary part of it because he used to be a player and all that stuff. So, does he want Ryan Tannehill to be there? Yeah, I'm sure he does. Is this going to cause some big issue with Vrabel and Tannehill that he's not there? No, I don't think that it is at all.
No. Also, so this was pretty late in the press conference. It's one of those things where it's well, this is a draft press conference, a lot of draft questions. Hey, what do you think of the tight ends in the draft? Kaharski, what do you think of the edges in the draft? Whatever. So they got kind of late. It's okay, well, someone's got to ask about Tannehill, so I asked about Tannehill. Jared said on the air, is like, I think Joe asked about Tannehill because I was there.
Oh, really? Is that what went into that?
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you, Jared? Seriously. Like, what are you talking about?
Like, yeah,
I need to get inside Jared's head and just
is like Stephen A.
rearrange some
Smith
buttons.
showing up to the press conference, like, you know how he does with the big game stuff. So, like, because Jared was there, did you feel like you had to be on your A game with your questions? Is that what this is?
There must be, yeah.
Okay.
Like, ooh, Jared's here. About 2019. Jared, you're hot for 2019. So that was kind of funny. So thanks for showing up, Jared.
I got a texture that says, reading into Vrabel's comments way too much. He literally said they should, and they're comfortable with where they're at. This is coming from a texter on the text line.
Yeah. Look, again, I didn't expect it like Vrabel is like furious about this. Now, if you had Vrabel, you know, off the record, drinking a beer at a bar, would he say, yeah, I wish Tannehill showed up? Maybe.
Yeah.
Because if I were him, I'd rather Tannehill showed up. If I were him,
for sure,
I'd rather be at a press conference about the draft and not be asked about Tannehill not showing up. But some jerks just have to ask that question. So thanks a lot, Ryan. You know, but yeah, I'm with you. Like, this is not. This is going to be forgotten. Now, I don't know. I guess when Tannehill throws once we get through the chorus of boos after he throws a pick, maybe someone will, bring it up. You were trying to throw to Austin Hooper, and imagine if you guys had that extra week.
You were there on April 18th. Wouldn't have happened.
Exactly, but it's not too big of a deal.
Got a text that says, thank you, Joe and Robby, for not taking his words out of context. Like every other show and video that's commented on his comments have kind of made it out like Vrabel's mad he's not there.
What other show? I know Jared was going to do this. I knew that would happen.
I don't know.
Let us know in the text on the other shows that have done this. Unlike some people who are able to listen to all the shows and then say, like, we're the only show in town that blah, blah, blah. I don't listen to them, so let us know. Do you?
We are the only show in town that does a lot of stuff, though.
That's true. Well,
some good, some bad.
The only show in town that smashes Willie Donnick's memorabilia from a long way back in his youth.
Look, going back to that text, I don't think that Vrabel's like fuming that Ryan Tannehill's not there. I don't think he's happy about it either. Like, I don't want to make too little of it because I think he would obviously love his quarterback to be there. But, if Ryan Tannehill shows up next week, is this going to end up being the world's biggest deal? Probably not. Just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I think what Vrabel said is probably exactly what you say, and it's true. Every coach wants every player there for every second of this stuff. And I have no idea, Vrabel is he's probably as experienced on all sides of this stuff as anybody in the league, honestly, because he was a huge leader of the union. So I don't know, but I'm assuming Vrabel missed some voluntary stuff here or there in his career. Maybe not, but he understands it. It's just there's a lot of factors of this particular situation with the quarterback. If things had gone well last year, then people would be talking about it as much as they're talking about Jeff Simmons and Derrick Henry. And we're all going gaga over Derrick Henry's workout yesterday.
Oh yeah,
which is crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's like
he was like suspended in midair. It was amazing.
At some point, like, are your muscles too big to be a running back anymore? Like, is he going to be like a 3 technique here soon?
Maybe
like the fastest in history, but yeah, he's not. He's doing his stuff on his own. Yeah. People aren't mad about it.
People haven't said one word about it.
Yeah. And again, so if the performance by Tannehill and all the other things, not talking, not showing up at move out, all that stuff hadn't happened, then I don't think there'd be really any talk of this. But again, this is what it is. Everybody's ready to get mad at him for every little thing.
Henry on the text line says, do you think that Vrabel's comments would have been different had everyone else showed up except for Tannehill? Maybe,
no,
but that's never going to happen.
I don't think they would have been. I don't think the comments would have been different, but honestly, if that had happened, then there'd probably be more anger toward Tannehill overall.
Yeah.
Right? If he was the only one, yeah, that wouldn't happen. But I mean, I remember, so speaking of Derrick Henry, let's see. Let's go back 5 years? I think 5 years. There was a big thing because Derrick Henry didn't show up. And I think it was this exact same time period. And Jarrell Casey, I can probably find it. But he basically said, like, you know, he was mad. He was mad. He did not specify or name Derrick Henry, but he was like, you know, basically, I don't remember the comments. But he was mad. And so then I remember Jason Wolf, who was our beat writer at the time, the Tennessean, wrote a column and sort of wrote in like that Jarrell Casey was taking a shot at Derrick Henry. He never specified that.
Here was the quote.
Okay.
It definitely puts that little check mark in the back of my mind and lets me know who I can count on, who I can't count on. To see your teammates show up is definitely great. This is coming from Jarrell Casey.
Yeah. So, again, he didn't specify Derrick Henry, but, I mean, that was the big absence at the time was Derrick Henry. So, and it turns out Derrick Henry was like at Alabama finishing his degree. But Mike, I think Malarkey even said, like, I don't know. So Derrick Henry didn't communicate why. Yep. Again, it's voluntary, so you don't have to. But he didn't communicate. So the coach says, I don't know why he isn't here. Jarrell Casey says that. Everybody seems they're all ticked off. In the end, okay, he was at Alabama finishing his degree. So in that case, it's Derrick Henry, like make a call or send a text, and then it's all taken care of. But it became this big thing. And then I don't think that's going to be mentioned, you know, like when he's in Canton.
Probably not.
Yeah. But, of course, Tannehill won't be in Canton, so.
We'll think.
I don't know what that means, but. Well, that's true. How do I know this for sure?
Win a couple of Super Bowls, maybe he will be.
That's true. I mean, you look at his collection of stats. Now he wins a couple rings. He's probably in Canton, right? So we've decided today on the show that Ryan Tannehill's going to the Hall of Fame.
Congratulations, Ryan. I got a text that says, if Tannehill's supposed to be a leader, then he should lead by example and put in the extra work.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. I think he should have showed up. It's just, you know, this is what we're talking about now. Probably not going to be talking about it for too much longer, but I agree.
We'll continue to take your thoughts on the Titans on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. We'll get to yet another attempt to nail down a position for a certain Titans player yesterday that, once again, did not work. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Tune in every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. for Nashville's own Jason Fitz with Jarrett Stillman and company. Fitz started his sports talk career right here on 102.5 The Game, and now he anchors shows for ESPN. Jason Fitz is brought to you by Blood Assurance. Give blood. Give local. Give life.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Another mild start this morning with temperatures in the 60s on our way to highs in the middle 80s, and we stay here for the weekend.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Don't miss the historic opening of Geodis Park on May 1st as Nashville SC comes home for the first time of the 2022 season. Become a season ticket member starting at only $357 to ensure you are there for the big day. Come on in and grab a seat at NashvilleSC.com/22ticks.
Realizing Geico is your one-stop shop for all your insurance needs is like realizing you can just toss the whole measuring cup into the washer so it won't get gunked up with laundry detergent.
I guess it doesn't work for coffee mugs, huh?
It's something that's been right in front of you this whole time, like how Geico offers 24/7 emergency roadside service to help you when you need it most. Or how athletic wristbands aren't for your wrists, they're for wiping sweat off your forehead.
Great. So, what are headbands for?
80s night at the dance club. Woo!
It's something you can't believe you never realized before, like how Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance, with even more ways to save when you add boat, motorcycle, and RV insurance. Or how a pony is its own animal and not just a baby horse.
So, what's a baby pony called?
Getting more ways to save. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
The playoffs are here, folks, and you can make every game feel like Game 7 on FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA. Joe Rexrode here to let you know, throughout the playoffs, all customers can place a no-sweat same-game parlay each week. You get up to $20 in free bets if you don't win. FanDuel has so many ways to play. Best of all, when you do win, you get paid faster than a fast break. I'm going to tell you one thing I like here. Look, I feel like we are headed for
a Memphis Grizzlies Golden State Warriors second-round matchup. So bet accordingly or ignore me. Just know if you're new to FanDuel, you can download the app, sign up with promo code Joe102, and get in on the action. Again, that's promo code Joe102. And if you already have an account, you're all set to bet. No sweat. Either way, you get up to $20 in free bets if your same-game parlay during the playoffs doesn't win. FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $20 per week. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789.
It's the return of Jack White, live in concert. The Supply Chain Issues Tour. Ascend Amphitheater, Saturday, April 30th and May 1st. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The brand new albums from Jack White, Fear of the Dawn, is available April 8th. And Entering Heaven Alive drops July 22nd. Don't miss Jack White. Visit jackwhitethird.com for more information.
Signs First is the official sign company for 102.5 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
Darren McFarland.
He's cool. He's got a personality, and they make fun of him.
Willie Donick.
Would this be a fun guy to come to work and hang around with all day?
Chase McCabe.
They're just like, hey, we need you to play yourself.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
You're listening to Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
In terms of Dylan Radins, do you guys think he's more of a left guard or a right tackle? And how does that affect where you might fill the other spot in the draft?
I think with the offensive line, we're trying to get the best 5 guys up there that can block their guy. You know, I think Dylan has shown he can play tackle. I think he's worked at guard. He's played guard. I think there's some versatility with him as a football player. But at the end of the day, with the offensive line, is trying to get the right 5 guys up there that can block their guy on a consistent basis.
There it is. John Robinson.
Okay, do you have the right after that? Because that gets really funny. Yeah, so right after that, Paul's like, yeah, but John, come on, John. It's so good.
We'll find it.
Yeah, we'll find it. Yeah, and hey, look, I feel your frustration, Paul, but thank you for being the one to ask and give it a shot. Worth a shot. I think everybody's giving it a run at this point.
They are very non-committal to the Dylan Radins position, at least publicly.
I think they're just messing with us. I think at this point they're cackling, behind the scenes because they know the question's coming again.
Yeah.
And so it's just like let's see which sucker asks it this time. But Paul's absolutely right that the draft strategy is going to be dictated by this, at least to some extent, right? Now, not that they have full knowledge, not that they can know for sure right now, but they have more of an idea of where things are trending for Dylan Radins than they've let on, and they have to draft accordingly on that one too. So we're going to find out, I think, something about him next weekend.
Well, and it was interesting to hear J-Rob continue to kind of expand on that a little bit because he said, there's the cliche line of we want the best 5 guys out there that can block. But he did say, let's say that Dylan starts at one position and somebody else gets hurt and he's better than who we put in over there. It's nice to have the versatility there. So let's say, Dylan Radins is the right tackle and Brewer goes down or their draft pick goes down and gets hurt. Well, if Dylan Radins is better over there at left guard than the backup they throw in, and they've got another tackle you could plug in, then maybe that's what you do there. But still, I kind of would like for him to be a right tackle. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I mean, that might be what you do, but at some point you need someone to focus on something, right? Versatility is great. So. Like if you're okay at various positions, super. But he was drafted to be a good tackle, a good starting right tackle.
Yes.
Now you could draft a tackle high in this draft and sell it as, well, we believe in Dylan, but you always have to think about the future. And look, you could draft a tackle high in this draft, and at some point that guy could be Taylor Lewan's replacement in the not all that distant future. So it's possible they could go that route, and it doesn't necessarily say anything about Dylan Radins, but I don't think they're going high for tackle unless they have more doubt than belief in him.
Yeah, and obviously they were asked about interior guard and like the interior offensive line yesterday, and they mentioned the two guys that we've talked about all week long here. That's certainly going to be an option for them at 26. But to your point, I mean, I think we're going to learn what their plans are pretty quickly, because if they do view Dylan Radins as a left guard, are they going to be drafting a guard with their first pick? I don't know. And they would tell me that they viewed him more as the right tackle where they drafted him last year at that point. And you're not doubling down on a guard. If you think Dylan Radins is going to be a starting left guard for you, are you drafting a guard with your first overall pick or with your first round pick? I think not.
No. That's the thing. I don't think that that's what they want either. That's why I think it's more likely they do draft a guard, because I think they want him to have every opportunity. But again, it's one of those things like, great, every opportunity, so then you could be left in a real bind and not have a good right tackle. Which, by the way, David Quessenberry still out there, correct?
No, he signed with the Bills yesterday.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, hello then.
So that means
there's some news.
2/5 of the starting line last year for the Titans now plays for the Buffalo Bills. Quessenberry and Saffold.
Interesting. And obviously, I mean, they just signed him as a backup.
Yep.
But you got to good for Quessenberry, because I kind of thought that might be one of those Michael Pruitts, eventually come back around. All right, bring him back. So. Well, that takes away a little bit of security. And again, they could have signed him and they could have ensured that security. But boy, the tackle roster for this team right now is a little light.
And Bills apparently still have Bobby Hart too. So I mean,
taking
all these former Titans running around.
All these Titans who have started at left tackle last season are now playing for the Buffalo Bills. Well, Bobby Hart was on the Bills and the Titans and Bills.
Yeah, he's all over the place. Let's go back to the text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Craig, going back to the A.J. Brown situation, says, I believe you have to come with your best possible offer, and if he says no, get some picks before Thursday. This is coming from Craig on the text line. Do you buy that there needs to be like a deadline this week if you're the Titans with A.J. Brown or you're trading him? I don't know if I'd go that far.
Well, I don't think you set that as a hard line in the sand. It's either this or that. But again, I think that the urgency to discuss and negotiate and get a feel for where you are and be very open to talking to people in the meantime, I think all that should be a big part of this. A heck of a week for John Robinson. I mean, it's already busy enough with the freaking draft.
There is that.
And now you have this situation too. So, I mean, look, it's very possible that nothing gets done. They draft, and we go into the rest of the offseason and everything, and we see what will probably be some holding out and things like that. Again, this happens in the NFL. But I think you have to have a real good sense for like how close you are. How is he realistic? Because if he's not realistic, which to me is like realistic should be. You shouldn't think you should get any more than like $25 million a year. Again, whatever.
And that's approaching pretty high, but yeah.
Yeah, so TD. I think TD has said this, or maybe he just texted me. I don't know, but whatever. I'll give you credit, TD, on if it's just a text me. I think he said he liked the 3-year 75 idea, and I like that idea too. It's a good number. It's one less year. Could be good for AJ too, because he could take another big swing if things go really well in that time period. Again, what's the guaranteed money? I mean, Diggs got 96, 4 for 96, and 70 guaranteed. So what's the guaranteed number? About 70. I mean, if AJ Brown would scoff at numbers like that at this point, like it's like some people are just unrealistic. Well, then you need to think differently. I'm sorry, but there's still got to be a limit if you're the Titans on where you're going to go with this. So I think you at least have to have a really good idea, and you may just decide it's just going to have to go into. You're going to have to draft how you draft, but obviously that's the thing. If it's going to be a problem, then that could change your draft. And also, if it's going to be a problem, you can now get yourself some very valuable assets.
This is why, and I've said this before, to me, in today's NFL, you can never have enough wide receivers. It's just the way that I kind of view it right now. Got a texter that says John Robinson is not going to let AJ go. They'll get the deal done for sure. Both sides will be able to come to some kind of agreement. If J-Rob doesn't get it done, it's not going to look good for this franchise. They've been trying to find a number one receiver for years. We got one. He's got no choice but to sign him. This is coming from a texter on the text line.
There was a text I was trying to read, and now what the heck? Does this stuff like disappear sometimes?
I don't think so. What was it about?
It was about Tannehill. Whatever. Anyway, I thought it was a good point. Maybe I just imagined.
Was it it's easier for fans to sit back and say they should put in extra work?
Yeah. Who was it? What's the name?
It was the same one. Just had the text about John Robinson. It says, we forget they're human too, but I do agree with the way things ended last year. And with the addition of the passing game coordinator and the new tight end, Ryan should be there trying to get comfortable with his new weapon and meet the new passing game coordinator as well. There you go.
Thanks. It's not on my screen anymore, but yeah.
It's because they had the new text after.
Yeah.
But I can't find that one either. Anyway, whatever. My headphones are working well.
It's good. Got another texter that said, you know who did show up to their team's voluntary workouts? Marcus Mariota. A.J. Brown to the Falcons confirmed. This coming from Mark in Ashland City. He does have a nice sarcasm gif attached to it.
Hey, Arthur Smith will take A.J. Brown.
He'd sign up for that.
Yeah, he'd be okay with having A.J. Brown in Atlanta. Does anybody have the anybody have that somewhere, like starting quarterbacks who showed up first day and those who didn't? That'd be interesting.
And Aaron Rodgers isn't there, so.
Well, of course he's getting hammered at NBA playoff games. What do you expect? Was he with someone other than Shailene, by the way?
Randall Cobb.
No, but there was a woman who was that?
It's part of the ownership group, I think. Yeah.
Okay. All right. They looked kind of cozy. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Joe, you are invested.
Trying to stir stuff up.
He's invested in
Feels like
Shailene.
TMZ over here.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers paparazzi. I like Shailene. She was good on
Big Little Lies.
Yes. Good
sure.
show.
Seen it.
Is that nice? Well done. How you doing on those movies?
We'll continue to take your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. David Beauclair from SI.com coming up next. We'll get his thoughts on all things Tennessee Titans as they head into draft week next week. Make sure you join the Nashville Predators at the Smashville Open House event. You'll have your first chance to pick your seats for the 2022-23 season. Plus, all fans can sign up for the chance to shoot on net to win 2 lower-level half-season tickets as well. There will be inflatables, balloon artists, face painting for kids. Don't miss your chance to secure seats for the 22-23 season and guarantee access to every home playoff game this season with significant savings as well. Complimentary popcorn and Coca-Cola products will be available and 50% off all other food and beverage as well. It's the Smashville Open House taking a bit tomorrow, Saturday, April 23rd. Make sure you check it out. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
The voice of reason.
No, you blew it. That's what happened. It didn't slip away. You blew it.
The voice of the fan.
The officials had let that game get out of control before anything got thrown.
The voice of Nashville sports is your home of Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Hey, it's me, Chase McCabe, and listen, you know that I love BetMGM. I use it all the time, and I talk about it all the time. They are the king of sportsbooks, and they unleash the spirit of Las Vegas with BetMGM rewards. Every time you make a wager at BetMGM, you can earn BetMGM rewards points that you can redeem for online bonus credits like free bets and risk-free tokens. If you're planning a trip to Vegas, like I am, you can also convert your BetMGM points into MGM rewards points that you can use towards dining, shows, and hotel rooms at over 20 MGM Resorts properties located on the Las Vegas Strip and nationwide. BetMGM Rewards is sports betting's premier loyalty program featuring exclusive offers, incredible experiences, and valuable perks when you wager on the BetMGM app. Sign up with BetMGM or log on today and get an even bigger piece of the action with BetMGM Rewards. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Tennessee only. For problem gambling support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789.
Bank of England Mortgage has been helping Americans live the dream of home ownership for over 100 years. Since their humble beginnings in England, Arkansas, they've gone from a community bank to a nationwide mortgage lender. BOE delivers innovative mortgage products with superior customer service and the most knowledgeable loan officers in Nashville. Find your nearest location in Middle Tennessee at BOE1214.com or call 615-823-1215. Bank of England Mortgage is a division of Bank of England Mortgage. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS 418-481.
Smokeville Smoke Shop has been serving Hendersonville and Metro Nashville since 2015 and is committed to providing high-quality, hands-on, and personable customer service. Stop into Smokeville Smoke Shops in Hendersonville, Gallatin, Hermitage, and Goodlettsville to try any of their wide selection of locally sourced products and selection of top nationwide brands, including vapes, hookah, hand-blown glass, detox systems, e-juices, kratom products, leaf wraps, and much more. Visit Smokeville Smoke Shops today.
Starting a garden. It's kind of like starting a family. You care for it, watch it grow, and if you get the right brand, like Bonnie Plants Harvest Select, you watch it grow a lot. You start to feel a real bond with your plant family. Just don't name them, because they're gonna be delicious. Get help donating your surplus to local food banks from the Home Depot and ampleharvest.org. It feels like spring at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, with Stillman and Company.
Surprise, surprise!
I write down what was good, what was bad.
Afternoons from 2 to 6.
On ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell media station.
It's Robby and Rexrode with Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in, hour number 2 of Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game, brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Konezovic, intern Nick here with you on this Friday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. And we go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in David Beauclair from SI.com. David, what's going on? How are we doing?
Robert, I'm excellent. How are you today? Joseph, good to see you.
We are wonderful. Appreciate you taking time to be with us this morning. There's obviously a lot to get to with the Titans before the draft next week. David, I want to start with the A.J. Brown part of this. Obviously, Deebo Samuel requesting a trade from the Niners. There's been a lot of wide receiver movement this offseason, and the market has exploded for that position. What do you make of the situation that John Robinson and the Titans are in, trying to nail down the next contract with A.J. Brown, while also trying not to just totally break the bank when doing so?
Yeah, I mean, the price has clearly gone up. And, I mean, the thing is, it's only going to go up if you let him go through this season and get to free agency next year, right? Then it becomes an actual bidding war. So, it has to get done sooner rather than later. And I mean, it is going to get done, right? I mean, it's just there's a lot of factors in play here, not the least of which is the fact that Julio Jones was released with a June 1st designation, so those salary cap savings aren't actually on the book right now. You're going to have to wait, and I think a lot of it, you can. It's not as cut and dried in that, but in a lot of ways, the move in cutting Julio Jones was done to free up money to lock up A.J. Brown for the long term. You're just kind of moving that money from one wide receiver to the other.
So do you expect, David, then, do you think that we're going to go through the draft process next week and there will be no resolution with him? And beyond that, at this point, given all the information, and I mean, I've changed a little bit on this in the last even couple days, give me a percentage chance you think the Titans would end up moving him.
I would say a 2% chance that the Titans end up moving him. And yes, I think it's going to last through the draft. I think it's going to take some time just because, I mean, let's face it, getting A.J. Brown's contract done is not a priority for that front office staff right now. The draft is the priority, and they're still going through meetings. They're still moving the board around and whatnot. But this is all, the clamor over this, if you will, I think is more. It has more to do with this franchise and what has happened during its time in Tennessee, right? I mean, you look at it. This is a team that has gotten Randy Moss, Carl Pickens, Julio Jones at the end of their careers, and got virtually little to nothing out of those guys. They were all disappointing here. There was a lot of local ties and excitement with guys like Tyrone Calico and Justin Hunter, and maybe some initial excitement about those guys, but they busted out big too, and were huge disappointments. Outside of Derek Mason, this franchise during its time in Tennessee has had little success with wide receivers or anything to get excited about. Now you have A.J. Brown, and for 3 years this guy has been a stud, and makes the Pro Bowl in his second year, and has played through injuries, and has took over a game on Thursday night against the San Francisco 49ers last December. Made the huge catch against Houston. Well, I don't even remember. All these things start to run together. Which game it was? It was here at Nissan Stadium, though, I think there's a certain amount of fear among the fan base, and that fear is sort of sucking up the oxygen right now and slanting people's reality about what this situation is and what's going to happen. I mean, it is a deal that's going to get done. John Robinson, when he wants to keep guys, he keeps guys. He finds ways to keep guys. He finds ways to pay them. Harold Landry is the latest example here of that. So A.J. Brown's time is going to come to get a contract. He's too important to the quarterback. He's too important to the fan base. He's too important to the coaching staff and all the things he offers. It's just everybody, A.J. included, are going to have to wait for this deal to get done.
David Beauclair from SI.com on with us here on Robby and Rexrode. David, what do you think of the Tannehill situation, not showing up for voluntary workouts? Is that a big deal? Is it no deal? What's kind of your thoughts on that situation from the quarterback?
I don't think it's a big deal. It's never been a huge deal when guys don't show up at this time of the year. But Mike Vrabel, more so, much more so than any coach I have worked with, has made it clear that he understands that voluntary is voluntary, right? And he trusts these guys to show up whenever they're going to show up and be ready. And there's not a lot that can happen right now. But I go back to 2017 with these sorts of things. Remember when Derrick Henry wasn't here for the start of the off-season program, and Mike Mularkey brought it up in his press conference that day and clearly wasn't happy about it. And then several of the players came through, and Jarrell Casey, for example, called him out, and everybody's like, we don't know where this guy is, we don't know, and it turns out he was at Alabama finishing up some schooling, working out every day with the football program there. We all know what now, through the beauty of Instagram, of course, what Derrick Henry does when he's away from the facility and how he works out, and everything Derrick Henry has meant to this franchise since. So, it's kind of this popular. It's kind of this popular thing: who's here, who's not. But everybody's working. And a guy like Ryan Tannehill, the quarterback position, of course, is different. From what I've seen from Ryan Tannehill, he thinks about leadership. He knows what it is to be the quarterback of a team, what that means in the huddle, what that means in the locker room, those sorts of things. I'm convinced if it was really important for him to have a presence at this time of year, he would be here. My guess is once some legitimate on-field work starts, he'll be here. He'll be throwing to his guys and doing the things he needs to do.
Well, David, I don't know if you're as excited as we are. And yet, by the way, we were talking about the Derrick Henry thing earlier. It definitely worth bringing up when it comes to this Tannehill situation. But 5 days out? No, 6 days. 6 days out. 6 days out.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
The big day. First of all, just how much are you looking forward to? Getting onto those 2023 mock drafts. But also, what do you think we're going to see? And speaking of the draft, another great attempt by Kaharski to get. I think we've all tried in various times to get them to talk about which position they see Dylan Radins at. But how much do you think what they think of him influences what they do starting Thursday?
That's a really good question. I think I don't know why they won't offer clarity on this, but I think they see him very much as a tackle, and I think they see him as their right tackle for this season. I think they look at it as as sort of a Christian Fulton situation that, they're going to take the leap of faith with this guy. Didn't see a lot from him his rookie season, but did got some game action along the way. And, now they're in a situation where, they sort of have to swallow hard and throw them out there and hope for the best. And I guess, from John Robinson's perspective, it's the thing. Well, if some tackle falls to 26 in the draft and we can draft him and plug him in at right tackle, then great, we'll do that and we'll see what Radens can do at left guard. But I think, I don't think there's any question that they see him more as a tackle. That even here's what look at what Robinson yesterday said. He goes, I think Dillon has shown he can play tackle. I think he's worked at guard. So they put him at guard. I think last year more. That was more a look. Who knows where we might need him? He's if we can get opportunities to play him anywhere, we will. But I think they very much see him as a tackle, and they're expecting him to be their right tackle this season. David,
if you had to put a percentage chance on the Titans drafting a quarterback at 26th overall on Thursday, what would that be?
Not high. Maybe no more than 10% probably. And I say that, if you had asked me the same question under the same circumstances 2 years ago, my answer would have been very different. But when Russell Wilson gets traded and all the movement we've seen, when you've got guys like Baker Mayfield and Jimmy Garoppolo here in the middle of April don't know what their jobs are going to be for 2022. The quarterback market is way different than it used to be, and you can go find a quarterback through different means these days than you used to be able to. And I'm not sure that the Titans trading for Ryan Tannehill maybe wasn't the start of this, the first domino in what we've seen the last couple of years, that, all of a sudden, Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff switch spots and it works out really well for the Rams. And, it's just everybody. It used to be if you had a quarterback who looked anything like a starter in this league, you held on to him like grim death, right? And now that's not the case. So I think this franchise obviously likes Ryan Tannehill. They obviously like Logan Woodside. They've put some time now into Kevin Hogan. So they've got a really high priced starter. They've got two affordable backups who with very little experience, but you gotta save some money somewhere. So I think you worry about the quarterback position when you need a quarterback, and I think the way this roster is set up right now, they don't need a quarterback. And considering that you've gotten so little out of your first round picks the last 2 years, I think you need to use that pick on a position that is going to contribute heavily to your football team this year.
Trying to think of another math question I can throw to you. You had no idea, right? Yeah, it's all percentage answers. Okay, I'll break from that. So let's say, they're not going to go that route. They do end up picking at 26. Is there someone you really like there? And if there's maybe like their top choice at offensive guard or their top choice at receiver, what do you think about that choice?
Yeah, receiver's the position that's really interesting to me, Joe, because there's been so many good wide receivers coming into the league the last couple of years, and the Titans have chosen not to draft any of them. Now they obviously hit on Nick Westbrook-Akina as an undrafted, and he's a good quality player, but there's reasons that he was undrafted, right? And you look at a guy like Elijah Moore, for example, with the Jets, who they could have had last year with their first round pick, but didn't get him. There's a big difference there, and I wonder if this is the year that the Titans go wide receiver early in the draft, and I kind of think it's not. I think this. I think the sheer volume of wide receivers coming in, creates more of a secondary free agent market too, where there's still opportunities to get a veteran guy on the cheap here after the draft or closer to the start of training camp. And I think it's probably offensive line again. I think the line play is clearly important to this to John Robinson, to the coaching staff and whatnot. They have tried the last couple of years to set themselves up for the future. They're not really there with the offensive line as far as that goes. So I think they're going to go back. Somebody who it might not necessarily be a guard. It could be, I can't think of the guy's name, the center from Iowa, for example, where maybe you bring him in, you plug him in at guard for this year, and then he can replace Ben Jones in a year or two when you decide Ben is finally done. But I think it's more likely that offensive line, as unsexy as that is probably the primary focus again for round one in this draft.
Well, David, thankfully we're getting close to finding out next week. We appreciate you taking time to join us this morning. Great stuff as always, and enjoy the weather this weekend.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen. You guys have a great day.
You as well. David Beauclair from SI.com, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode. We'll take your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. We'll react to what David had to say. Welcome more of your thoughts on the Titans as they prepare for the NFL Draft. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Do you have that one person or thing that just makes you mad? Join us every Friday at noon on the DDC for You Just Made the List. Fueled by Parman Energy. Visit ParmanEnergy.com, your one-stop petroleum solution, and try Star Movie on the DDC on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
You just made the list!
Tired of mosquitoes ruining your summer? Stop the bite. Go to tiredofmosquitoes.com and check out your special offer. Take back your summer. Go to tiredofmosquitoes.com.
Nothing makes one feel better than the ability to give to someone in need. You have the power to give the most important gift of all, the gift of life, with a donation of your blood. Supplies are desperately low in our area, and your help is needed. Blood Assurance is a nonprofit community blood center that supplies our Middle Tennessee area hospitals. Please find it in your heart to donate. Be someone's hero today. Go to bloodassurance.org to find a location or blood drive near you. That's bloodassurance.org. Give blood, give local, save lives with Blood Assurance.
Winter's a bad time for your furnace to go out, but it's never a bad time to call Lee Company. Our heating and air conditioning pros are available 24/7. No heat? Don't wait. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000. Our expert technicians will diagnose the issue and fix it right the first time. When you're cold, you need someone you can count on to bring the heat. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
Genesis Diamond's once-a-year spring extravaganza is here this weekend. 3 days of phenomenal savings store-wide. You save up to 35% off Genesis already guaranteed best prices. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, and more. Plus special finance. You can even trade in your old jewelry for some amazing new designs from our world-class designers who flew in just for this. Extra savings on GIA certified diamonds, too. It's our biggest sale all year. It's Friday through Sunday only, and only at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. See store for details.
Meet your new one-stop shop for anything and everything Delta 8. D8 Superstore has Delta 8 vapes, gummies, dabs, flour, and more. Backed by their years of extensive product research and testing, they offer the best prices, selection, and quality on the market. Get free shipping on every order with customer support that responds in minutes. So don't wait. Try their Delta 8. Shop with us at d8superstore.com.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good, really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless, now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Do you hear that? The sounds of spring. There's the birds. The spring breeze blowing through the leaves. And the Ryobi Whisper Series blower. And that's the new Ryobi Whisper walk mower. And there's the Ryobi Whisper Series string trimmer. All with interchangeable lithium-ion batteries and gas-like power. It feels like spring at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Listen to Stillman & Company with me, Caroline Fenton, all season long on ESPN 102.5 The Game for your chance to win Nashville Sounds tickets courtesy of 312 Pizza Company in Germantown.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Robby and Rexrode on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
Don't miss Nashville's best NFL draft coverage starting at 5 o'clock on Thursday, April 28th and Friday, April 29th on 102.5 The Game. Presented by Social Furniture, Apple Collision Centers, Farm Bureau Health Plans, and the Nashville Sheriff's Office. Be sure to join us on site as 102.5 The Game will be broadcasting live on Thursday, April 28th from 3rd and Home, Germantown's bar with a ballpark. You can watch all our live coverage of the NFL Draft via 102.5 The Game's Twitch, Facebook page, YouTube, and Twitter. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. We're streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. We are live from the Hillside Medical Game Studio on this Friday morning, taking your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. Liam texting in says, David nailed it, and our anxiety about losing AJ is exacerbated a bit because of the parallel with the Preds' historic struggle to find talented forwards and the potential of losing Forsberg as well. So what do you make of that? Like the two tied together of A.J. Brown and Philip Forsberg.
Well, we've already done the whole, like, which one are you more confident in happening, and it's an interesting parallel there. Not perfect, but yeah, the Preds obviously have been searching for the great homegrown forward. And I know Forsberg's not technically homegrown, but basically, pretty much. And of course the Titans with the receiver, and I agree with I don't know if I agree exactly the percentages, but I wouldn't go a whole lot higher than that either. I do think sometimes we get into these discussions, like if you're John Robinson, do you care that the history of the franchise at receiver is, you know what I mean? Like, it really isn't relevant to your job. Right? I mean, you're just trying to build this team, and you're just trying to go year after year and have the best possible team. So that's more of a Titans fan/media who've been here the whole way thing, because it's right. And I guess that's where it's different too, because with David Poyle, it's actually like that's all his tenure. So so he's lived that. John Robinson is just trying to win a Super Bowl.
He probably
it's gonna be a lot harder without A.J. Brown.
It could be. He probably cares a lot more about the offensive lineman you continue to search for in the first round to work out, or the second round. That's probably more on his mind than the wide receiver history of the franchise.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And which offensive lineman will it be this year?
Yeah, we'll see. Maddie on the text line says, if Debo and A.J. Brown will command the same contract, who would you prefer? I love me some A.J., but I'm leaning Debo. This is coming from Maddie on the text line.
I think A.J. Brown has a higher ceiling as a receiver than Debo Samuel. Some people call me crazy for that. But I do. I think he's a better receiver than Debo. Love what San Francisco did with Debo this year, and it's funny because late last season, I'd say a few different times, A.J. Brown got asked about that.
Yep.
Just because I actually think A.J. Brown could be a heck of a running back. I mean, he could do the Debo wide back or running receiver, or whatever you want to call that position, if he was in that offense.
Is now the time to make my Lindale White wide back joke, or did I miss that boat yesterday?
You can always make it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's never too late.
All right.
Good one.
Thanks.
So, honestly, it's close. And Debo had just this monster year. So, if you're just if you don't watch him all the time, and I don't watch Debo all the time, I watch him quite a bit, and you looked at just the numbers from last year, it's not close, right? Debo Samuel had a got yourself paid year. A.J. Brown was already getting – like there was no comparison between them going into last year, right? Nope. I think I'd still go with again, the big caveat here is are you telling me they're both the same level of health? Because that is where you could have a little bit of hesitation with A.J. Brown. That is the hesitation. But if I know he's healthy, he's going to play, if that's what you're telling me, I'm taking him.
Well, and the other part is Like, if you're a team out there interested in Deebo Samuel, are you worried about running him into the ground like San Francisco was on pace to do last year? Because apparently Deebo's thinking about that.
No doubt. I mean, it's a valid concern. It's like, hey, this was great. It helped us get to the NFC title game. It helped me have a huge season, but also it's not sustainable. So it's really interesting. You would think that a player, like however you get the ball, you're a skilled player on offense, great. But, hey, man, it's just a different level of punishment if you're taking it out of the backfield.
I got a texture that says, if an athlete in the draft does not want to play for a certain team, is that made known to that team or does it matter? This is coming from someone on the text line.
Well, I mean, it's happened before. The famous one is Eli Manning and the Chargers and the Giants and that whole situation.
You got to have some pretty good clout, though, if you're going to go do that.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part.
I mean, otherwise the Lions would never draft anyone.
Sorry.
Nope, we're done.
We're withdrawing. We'll just sign some undrafted free agents, okay? Yeah, no one will play for us.
I do not want to play for the Lions, and I do not want to play for the Jags. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, no, that really doesn't happen.
Like Trevor Lawrence comes out last year. Sorry, guys, I'm not going to Jacksonville. It's not going to happen.
That would have been so amazing. Yeah, for the most part, yeah, if you're the clear number one pick quarterback or something like that, I mean, you can go way back and go now. I'm trying to remember exactly how it went with Elway, but the Baltimore Colts, still the Baltimore Colts, were just absolute cheeks in 1982. I don't remember if they drafted him and then they had to trade him, or it was the same sort. I think they actually did draft him, right? And they traded him to the Broncos. I think that's how it went. But that was another situation of I'm not playing for that organization.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen too often. It may be spoken, like, oh my God, Lions, please don't draft me. But basically, you're screwed if they do.
Yeah, I mean, most people coming out of the draft, like, what do you do at that point? Like, if you're Aiden Hutchinson this year and you're like, sorry, Jacksonville, I just have no interest coming to play for you guys. And then you get drafted anyway. Like, what do you do after that? Like, oh, okay. Guess I'm here to play. Sorry. I know that, Doug Peterson coming in changing that culture, though. So maybe Jacksonville's a pretty hot destination now.
Yeah, exactly. They've put some nice pictures up. They've dusted. They got some new TVs.
Yeah.
Playing some golf. Someone asked in the text line if Tannehill has traditionally – it's a good question. I thought about this the other day. Has traditionally participated. So here's the thing. So in 2020, it was COVID.
Yeah.
So they didn't have that situation. And I'm trying to remember even if last year, were they still in – I don't remember last year exactly what it was. But obviously the last two off seasons have been different. Now, the Titans traded for so I don't even think this has been – it hasn't been this situation since he's been the starter for sure.
Yeah.
Now, they traded for him in March of 19, so I honestly don't remember. We probably could figure it out if he showed up.
I'm sure he probably did.
Probably did. It's a new team. You're coming in as the backup, soon to be the most popular guy in the city because the backup quarterback often is in an NFL city.
Yep.
So he probably did that. But this has been, I think, really the first opportunity for like the full spring. I don't know. Do you remember what it was last year? I don't remember.
I think they had it to some degree, but I don't remember.
It was still different, wasn't it?
It was different, yeah.
So it's a good question. But again, that even if he has or hasn't, whatever, I mean, it is different now. It is different now because of his performance on the field. And so it's just things he does now are going to be perceived differently. And yes, some people are just waiting for a reason to jump on him.
Mark on the text line says, Lindell White is my favorite Titans running back just because I know without a doubt I can't play in the NFL, but watching him made me feel like I could. This coming from Mark on the text line. Hey, the Smash and Dash, man, they were awesome for that 1 year.
Yeah. And, man, he was great at USC. Just a little big, I guess.
You give the ball to Lindell on the goal line, he's getting in there.
When did when did his career end?
I don't know.
Now I'm interested in looking up the entire Lindell White career. He had a nice run.
He did. We'll continue to take your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. We'll look ahead at a gigantic weekend coming up for the Nashville Predators coming up next. Speaking of the Preds, make sure you join the Nashville Predators for the Smashville Open House event tomorrow, Saturday, April 23rd. You can have your chance to pick your seats for the 2022-23 season. Plus, all fans can sign up for the chance to shoot on net to win 2 lower-level half-season tickets as well. And you can tour the Preds locker room. Have you ever wanted to see inside the Preds locker room? Well, you'll have that chance coming up tomorrow at the Smashville Open House. There will be complimentary popcorn and Coca-Cola products and 50% off all other food and beverage options as well. Save 30% off all Stadium Series merchandise at the Nashville locker room. It's the Smashville Open House taking place tomorrow at Bridgestone Arena. Make sure you check it out. You can check out the Preds taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning on Fang Vision while you're there as well. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Saturday night.
He scores! Mikhail Kronman! Shot at the score by Philip Forsberg!
The Predators head south to take on the defending Stanley Cup champions Tampa Bay Lightning. Pre-game at 5. Face-off at 6. On Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The 2022 Major League Soccer season is officially here, and the Nashville SC Stadium nearly complete. Don't miss Nashville SC's home opener May 1st. Grab a seat at nashvillesc.com/22ticks.
Realizing Geico has over 85 years of experience saving folks money and providing great customer service is like realizing there's a crumb tray on the bottom of your toaster, and you don't have to keep turning the toaster upside down to clean it.
How long has that been there? Hey, who needs some croutons?
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly, or realizing that baby carrots are just regular carrots that have been shaved down.
I don't care. They're still cute.
It's something you can't believe you never realized before. Like how Geico's 97% customer satisfaction rating means Geico is committed to providing the best service for their customers. Or how you can peel the top layer of tape off a lint roller and there's a fresh layer underneath.
Marcy, wait till you hear about the lint roller.
You mean how the handle is reusable?
Wait, what?
Trust. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
Family Leisure invites you to vacation at home with your family with a new spa, pool, patio furniture, or wood play gym this summer.
I really want a spa.
Family Leisure has 40 spas on display from 3 of the biggest brand names: Artesian, Best Spas, and American Select. Prices starting as low as $29.99.
What about above ground pools?
Family Leisure has hundreds of pools in stock and on sale. Guaranteed installation before Memorial Day, starting as low as $29.99. Installed.
Wow, that's great.
If you're looking at a spa, I want some new patio furniture. Family Leisure has patio furniture from all the big brand names like Hanneman, Woodard, Jensen, and Apricity. There's more than 100 sets on display to choose from with free delivery.
That sounds good to me too. And maybe a new Sabre infrared grill to go with it.
We really should look at the wood play gym for the kids. Family Leisure has the Diamond Point swing set on sale at only $24.99 installed. It's Family Leisure's vacation at home sale going on now at both huge locations, Franklin and Antioch.
Now's the time to get the Kubota Z200 mower. It's built to cut quickly and like a pro, so you can get the zero-turn agility and effortless precision you need to turn your lawn into a work of art. Right now, get the Kubota Z200 mower for 0 down, 0% APR for 36 months, now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
2 locations to serve you, Columbia Kubota or Franklin Kubota. Visit us online at ColumbiaKubota.com or FranklinKubota.com.
Where are those receipts?
Tax day is nearly here.
I held on to those.
And Chanel is stressing.
Why do I always wait to the last minute?
Her small business needs a bookkeeper to crunch some big numbers.
All these spreadsheets make my head spin. None of this adds up.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Sounds. Play ball.
Back to Brothers. He's got it. Goes to second one. Turn to first. Double play.
The Nashville Sounds continue their homestand at First Horizon Park against the Charlotte Knights.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Sounds win.
Coverage begins at 6:20 on your home for the Sounds.
ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Laura Rutledge from the SEC Network, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Pro Golf is coming to Nashville this May with the Simmons Bank Open. You can text the keyword golf now to 615-737-1025 for a chance to win a weekend pass for 4 to enjoy the event in style, including food and drinks, plus a Predators gift pack, including a polo shirt, golf balls, and umbrella. Text golf now to 615-737-1025 to be entered to win. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game, brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezovic, intern Nick here with you on this Friday morning. We've got the Red Rant coming up at 7:45. Teron Davenport, ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter, coming up at 8 o'clock as well. Joe, big games tomorrow and on Sunday for the Nashville Predators. They take on the defending Cup champion, two-time defending Cup champion, Tampa Bay Lightning, on the road tomorrow, who just beat Toronto last night 8-1. So the Lightning, hopefully, if you're the Predators, getting all their goals out of the way last night against Toronto, and then Minnesota on Sunday at home. A Minnesota team that's been red hot as of late, but also a Minnesota team that the Predators are pretty much slapped around so far this year too. So you know on Sunday that Minnesota is going to want that one pretty bad.
So what's the what do the Preds have to get out of these two games this weekend? They got 5 games in 7 days. The fifth, the fourth maybe, but the fifth, you hope doesn't even matter to you.
Honestly, if you could win one this weekend, I still think you're in a pretty good spot.
Get 2 points.
Yeah.
Get 2 points out of the weekend.
I mean, you brought up the schedule earlier for Dallas. Dallas losing again last night, by the way, to Calgary, but they're back at home. I think it's Seattle, Vegas, and then who's it after that? Anaheim?
Yeah,
they got one more in there.
Oh, it's a bad one too. It's Anaheim. It's all at home.
Arizona.
Yeah. Arizona, Anaheim, and Seattle at home. Plus, so 4 straight at home, and plus, the Vegas game, which is Vegas fighting for survival.
Yeah.
So, again, it's interesting because obviously if they beat Vegas in that stretch, then, Vegas is in trouble, and you are in really good shape to make the playoffs. But right now, you are in a good position to get the first wild card and get Calgary instead of Colorado. So I guess if you're the Preds, well, first of all, if you're actually the Preds, then you don't even talk about these things.
Yeah.
But if in terms of what would be best for them, it's one of those things. It's just like if you know that you're going to do well enough, then yes, you'd rather see Vegas go in there and keep them and give them the 1 L, and they're still probably going to get 6 points to finish.
I mean, if you come out of this weekend, if you're the Preds, and you can get 2 points, that puts you at 95 with 78 games played, and then 79th game will be on Sunday against Minnesota. So you'll be at 79 games played. Let's say you're at 95 points. I mean, that's still a pretty tall order for Vegas at that point to get it done. And then Dallas, I mean, the schedule is what it is. They're just not playing well right now. They got destroyed. They didn't just get beat this week. They got handled this week.
But it was a West trip.
It was.
You're right. I mean, they're 4-4-2 in their last 10. They lost them. They got smoked. They gave up 15 goals in 3 games out west. But I still like them in the finish, with the schedule. You're home and just, beat these bad teams. There's 6 points. There's 97.
By the way, the Preds' playoff percentage chance went up last night. It was a 96.9 yesterday. It's a 97.2 now.
Oh, 0.3 up.
Yep.
Okay.
Dallas is down to 72.8. Vegas up to 31.9. They were at 13% 2 days ago.
Okay.
That's 31.9.
It's interesting, and Vancouver is still in there.
1.7% for Vanderbilt. Vancouver.
And Vanderbilt. Dallas. So you look at that, like the Kings now are pretty much, and I'm surprised, and kudos to the Kings, but the Kings it's going to be Kings-Oilers, pretty much.
Yeah.
Of course, that could be it. I mean, that could be it for that division. But Vancouver's still hanging around there. Vancouver's 6 points behind the Preds. The Preds have a game in hand.
Yeah.
So
they're in trouble.
They're in trouble. They're hanging on by a thread. And so is Vegas. So, again, I agree. If the Preds get 2 out of this weekend, they're sitting at 95 going into next week. It's just hard to imagine,
Well, Let me put it this way. Any more than 2 this weekend, and you're in, I think. I mean, if you get any more than 2 this week, you're going to be sitting in a great spot as next week begins.
So Vegas has had a little break, quite a break actually.
Yeah, they don't play till Sunday.
They're going to end up, and they got the Sharks. So like Sharks coming to your place, and then they strike out on the road, and again the huge one against Dallas, one way or the other. That's going to help the Preds. Then you go to Chicago, and then on the last day at St. Louis, and St. Louis is right there battling Minnesota for who's going to have home ice in that series.
Yep.
So, and maybe that will be decided by then, but regardless,
they're both at 105.
The
right
Preds
now
would have to seriously just collapse here to not be in the playoffs.
John in Thompson Station texting in says, seems likely the Preds will quit shuffling the lines and go with set lines the rest of the season. Besides the Sissons line, what would you like the lines to be? I'd go Granlund, Forsberg, Duchesne, and then Johansson with Tomasino and Cousins, McCarron, Tolvanen, and Cunnin. But I bet Hines puts Cunnin on the second line. By the way, to that front, Cody Glass sitting down in Milwaukee yesterday, so that would tell me Michael McCarron's back in there tomorrow.
Yep. McCarron centering the fourth line, and I think I like those lines. From who on the text line was that?
John in Thompson Station.
John, I think I like your lines. What do you think? Tomasino Cousins with Johansson? Did you do that?
I'd
it's
probably
either Cousins or Cunnin.
I'd probably just go Tolvanen up there. I'd go Johansson, Tolvanen, Tomasino, and I'd leave the fourth line with McCarron, Cousins
and Cunnin.
Yeah, that's probably what
That's
I'd do.
fine too. Okay, fine. I like your lines.
I got a texture that says, Viking Matt says, screw it, Preds get 3 points this weekend. It's coming from Viking Matt on the text line. So taking my 2 and moving it up 1. If that happens, if you get 3 out of 4 points in a back-to-back with Tampa and Minnesota, I think the Predators would sign up for that right now without even having to play the game. Yep. Send it my way.
I mean, take it and run. Yeah, no question about it.
Let's go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in Rob from Franklin, who wants to weigh in. Rob, thanks for calling into Robby and Rexrode.
Good morning, gentlemen, and happy Friday.
You too.
I just had a thought. I'm in marketing, and wouldn't it be cool if early next week we had Robinson and Poyle in a dual press conference? Hey, guess what? We're signing Forsberg and we're signing A.J. Brown, and they announce it and have a cross-sectional marketing campaign that has a huge jump to it, and alleviate all of this anxiety, A and X, for everybody, and get it out in the open and have some fun. Both sports and both teams celebrate one another. Wouldn't that be cool?
Hey, I think it'd be awesome.
I like it, but then you got to follow that up with A.J. Brown on skates, and I want to see Forsberg, maybe playing a little
go route.
Maybe see Forsberg try to do the Ferkser role, See if he
You do realize that playing hockey is the hardest sport on the planet, right? You skate, then you have to have stamina, strength. You have to handle the puck, and oh, by the way, somebody's coming at you faster than they do in football and hitting harder than they do in football.
AJ could do it. I got confidence in him.
Good, I'd like to see that.
It's not as hard as golf, but I hear you.
Yeah. Golf's hard, man.
Golf's a sport.
Yeah, I know.
We agree.
We'll continue to take your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. The Red Rant with Michelle Knezovic coming up next. Michelle, before we get there, tell us about your friends at Seltzerland.
Thanks, Robbie. Yes, Seltzerland is turning Nashville into a hard seltzer paradise on Saturday, April 30th at Riverside Golf Links. You can enjoy this one-of-a-kind immersive experience as you spend the day tasting over 100 unique seltzers, indulge in mouth-watering munchies, tons of seltzer swag. I'm going to bust out my Instagram so you can tag them. Seltzerland has rounded up the best hard seltzers brands in the land for one epic day dedicated to the bubbly brew everybody can't get enough of. I definitely know I can't get enough of it. You don't want to miss out on Seltzerland 2022, April 30th at Riverside Golf Links. So join me, Michelle Knezovic, and my friend Caroline Fenton of Stillman & Company at Seltzerland on Saturday, April 30th at Riverside Golf Links. You are not going to want to miss it. Make sure you listen to ESPN 102.5 The Game all month long for your chance to win tickets to Seltzerland on April 30th at Riverside Golf Links.
Here they come, turn 4.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe. Join me for Chasing Checkers every Sunday morning at 8 as we talk all the big stories in NASCAR, IndyCar, and the motor racing world. We'll also talk to some of the big names in the sport. It's Chasing Checkers, presented by Apple Collision Centers and the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway on ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Another mild start this morning with temperatures in the 60s on our way to highs in the middle 80s, and we stay here for the weekend.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Hillside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Hillside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now, 615-576-5000.
Sounds Baseball is back. Catch the action at First Horizon Park tonight at 6:35 as the Nashville Sounds take on the Chicago White Sox affiliate. Kick off your weekend and enjoy the sounds of dueling pianos during the game. Grab your tickets today at NashvilleSounds.com.
Don't hunt for savings this Easter. Electronic Express has the best deals of the season. Enjoy the spring weather with brands like Yeti, Traeger, Charbroil, and more. We've also got huge savings in every department. Computers and gaming, smart home, housewares, mattresses, and more. Plus, save up to 40% on all appliances with up to 36 months free financing. Shop in-store or online with free express delivery on most items. Shop spring savings at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
From curriculum-based literacy programs and sport leagues to college tours and workforce readiness tracks, Boys and Girls Clubs of Middle Tennessee provide a safe place where youth gain the tools to learn, lead, and reach their full potential. You can support local youth and their great futures by donating at bgcmt.org.
It's the return of Jack White, live in concert. The Supply Chain Issues Tour. Ascend Amphitheater, Saturday, April 30th and May 1st. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The brand new albums from Jack White, Fear of the Dawn, is available April 8th. And Entering Heaven Alive drops July 22nd. Don't miss Jack White. Visit jackwhitethird.com for more information. Darren McFarland.
That should get you in the mood for a game tonight.
Willie Donick.
I think between 5.5 and 6 is probably in the ballpark.
Chase McCabe.
Typically, I like to take the most difficult task and do it first.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
The time is now for the Rex Rant.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
On Robby and Rexrode, here on ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go.
And it is that time of the day, time for the Rex Rant here on Robby and Rexrode. But today, it is the Red Rant with Michelle Knezovic. Michelle's rant of the week. Michelle, I turn things over to you.
Guys, I'm so excited for this one. So just to preface this, I had a couple different ways I could go with this rant.
Ooh, multiple options.
If you ever want to, figure out something that bothers you, just text your family group message. So I sent out a text to my family group message, and I said, guys, doing the rant tomorrow on the show. What bothers me? I have a couple options, but I want something that really gets me fired up, right? And my little sister, Christina, who is 16, they're on spring break right now, sends me a list of 10 things, detailed, specific things. I'll give you a little taste. The first one being when somebody eats my turkey club out of the fridge as my leftovers.
I've heard about this one.
And the last one being when I can't decide which 2 shoes I want to buy and I can only buy 1 pair. I'm like, okay, now you're just taking shots at me and Mom sees this in the message. But I'm not going to use one of hers, but I told her I would, give her a little credit. But it did spark something that happened to me about 3 weeks ago. And you guys heard a little bit of it, but I'm going to tell this story and my rant. So, we all know about the 6, right? Joe's like, the 6.
The 6.
We listened to the 6 last night coming back from a soccer game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you guys sounded good.
Thanks, we pre-recorded it, but...
Oh, okay. Well, now you've ruined my whole...
The 6.
Okay, but anyway, so it's a show that started not too long ago, right? It's after Stillman and Company, just 1 hour, kind of just an extension of these shows. So it only started about, I would say, like 2 months ago, really consistently. And I do it with Elijah, and sometimes Max is in there. A bunch of us kind of rotate in there. So Elijah asked me one day, hey, Michelle, you want to come back in? You want to do the 6 in studio? I was like, yeah, sure, that's awesome. So he calls me around like 3 o'clock and he's like, hey, just letting you know, there's so much traffic on Murfreesboro Road. There's a huge accident in front of the station. I was like, okay, no worries. So usually try to get here about an hour before the show at 6. I leave my house in downtown around 4 o'clock, right? Takes me an hour and 45 minutes to just get to Murfreesboro Road right over here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awful. Jam, whatever. I'm calling Elijah. I'm like, hey, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I don't know if I'm going to make it at 6 o'clock, by the way. So, you're going to have to start this thing.
I'll be late for the 6.
I will be late for the 6. I didn't think it would take 2 hours. I'm like, okay, maybe an hour of traffic. So then it's 5:45, and we're about, less than a mile from the station. We can see the sign of 102.5 The Game. And Elijah's like, Michelle, I just talked to the police officers right in front of the station. Don't worry, they're going to flag you down. Like, I told them our situation. The road's blocked off, whatever. So what we find out after the fact is that he talked to the security guards on the left side of the street, and I was coming from the right side of the street. So no police officers over on my side. It's just this Mr. Mean traffic cop. Okay? That's what we're going to name him. So we pull into the Sonic, kind of right down the road from us. And, Ryan, my boyfriend, is driving. Thank God, because if I was driving, I kind of would have been screwed. I wouldn't have anywhere to put my car. So we're driving, and essentially the message was, just move the cones and you guys can come right down. So we're driving through the Sonic to, get onto the road to just shoot down to the station right here. And at this point, it's 10 of 6. And the I don't think I've ever seen somebody move so fast. This traffic guy zooms his car over, right in front of my boyfriend's car. So we're, blocked. And he gets out of the car and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, hi, sir. Here's the situation, quick. I work at this radio station right here. We're going live in 10 minutes on the radio. My co-host just talked to the cops. I promise you, I'm not breaking rules. I made sure, this was okay. I'm not trying to just break the law out here. And he's like, well, I didn't say it was okay. I'm like, well, we spoke to the cops and everything, just being so incredibly mean. Obviously, he can tell that I'm stressing out, and I'm like, I'm going to lose my job. I mean, I was probably being a little dramatic because Chase already said, he's like, Michelle, I wouldn't have fired you for that. So relax. But I'm stressing out. It's live radio. I got to get there.
For being late to the 6.
And this guy is on the walkie-talkie, and I'm looking at my clock. I'm like, okay, it's 5:55, 5:55. Being so mean, no, you can't do it. You can't go down there. Can't go down there. He's like, I'm like, can I walk? Can I run? He's like, that's fine. And so I'm running right down this road, and they're laughing at me. He's like, ha, 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 that sucks. I'm like, can you be a little nicer, sir? You didn't have to be so rude. You could have been like, you know what? We really, aren't allowing cars down there. I don't know what they told you. Literally laughing at me as I'm running on the side of this sketchy road, right, guys? I even sent you guys a selfie, I think, when I was doing it. And running down the road. And basically my rant is, can you be nicer, the traffic cop? Because I wouldn't have been so upset. And we are going live. You could have just been like, hey, I can zoom you down there really quick. Or, hey, you know what? We're not letting any cars down there. Why don't you walk? But he literally is laughing at me, making fun of me, and haha, that sucks. You got to run. You're going to miss your show and all this stuff. And I'm like, You know what? I was so heated. So there's my rant.
Okay. Have you not told that story on the air already? Or is that just off
the cop
the
part
air?
of it, or the traffic guard part of it?
Okay.
It was off the air.
It was off the air. Okay. I'm like, I know this story. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've held on to this with the traffic cop.
This has been festering.
Yeah. I feel like I think that I'm with you on this. I feel like a lot of your rants come down to
people not being nice.
Can you be nicer, please?
Yes.
Well, and you know what?
It's a problem.
It's a problem because I get it was a situation, and then I'm running, and the cops over here at the scene are like, sorry, lady, like, and I'm like, this is not funny. I'm like literally crying because I'm so stressed, like, been in traffic for an hour and a half. I had to pee. Like, I'm running to get to the station. I run up here. I get up here at 5:59. Like, I peed, got in here. I was like, perfect, Elijah, we got time. Ian looks at us, right? He goes, hey, guys, it's Smashville Live tonight.
I was going to say, that was the best part of the whole story.
That's right.
That show wasn't even on.
That's right.
So then I'm like, okay. So now I'm going to have to go walk by all these people and tell them that I totally messed up. And
see, guys.
I'm like, I can't do it. It's like a walk of shame back. I'm like, yeah, no, can't do that. So
was he nice coming back?
No. Totally went out the back way and
There
we
you go.
parked on the other side. So I didn't have to deal with him. But yes, an overarching thing of my rants is people need to be nicer in this world. And it's not funny to watch a 24-year-old girl run on the side of the street crying to get to work.
Based on how the folks at the body shop act, I think maybe maybe you're gonna start influencing some people to be nicer, right?
Well, listen, if you hear this today, if you hear this rant, if you're listening on the stream, whatever, I think you should pay it forward somehow. Tell somebody you like your shoes. Tell somebody you like something. Be nice. Smile. Hold a door and say thank you when somebody holds your door.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what we're here for.
Right. That's right. I agree.
And especially if you're a police officer or a public safety person or a first responder.
There's
Be nice.
a texter has a rant for you.
Oh, gosh.
On Titans.
Listen.
Titans. Let's try it.
On the 6.
People also make fun of me for that, and it's a speech impediment. Okay? Titans.
But the thing is, it's so interesting because no one says Titans. Tennessee Titans.
Titans.
It's just weird.
What do you Tennessee
Titans?
Titans.
Yeah.
Now I'm afraid to look at the text
you don't actually say the T, right?
No, just Titans.
Yeah. And you?
Titans.
I think you're getting better.
Yeah.
Listen.
He's getting better.
Be nice to me, because I've had people call, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to do it wrong.
By the way, shout out to intern Nick on the text line, too.
Yeah.
And a shout out to intern Nick. Says, just realized Nick I knew was the intern Nick. Don't let his size fool you. I watched this kid play football in school, and pound for pound, he's the hardest hitting dude I've ever seen. Best wishes, Nick. Nick.
Yeah, Nick.
You like big thumper out there on the football field?
What
are you talking about here? All right.
He's saying
fullback,
something.
fullback
and
linebacker.
linebacker. That's
fullback
what I'm talking
linebacker for
Father Ryan.
There you go.
Father Ryan. Okay. Ah.
Nick out there just laying the
Jimmy
wood on people.
Wyatt's old stomping out the thing. Okay, nice.
Shout out to intern Nick.
I will keep that in mind next time I want to rip on Nick.
That's right. We'll continue to take your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. Teron Davenport, ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter, host of Talking with TD, coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game.
The voice of reason.
Now you. ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Time for the Preds Report.
Presented by Newton Nissan.
The Nashville Predators will be practicing later this morning and then heading out early in the afternoon for Tampa Bay. They'll play the Lightning at Amalie Arena Saturday evening. 6 o'clock game start Central Time. More on that a little bit later on. Meantime, the Predators, well, some of the teams on their heels. The Dallas Stars are still 2 points behind Nashville, and they just have 4 games to go. The Predators with 5. as the Stars were losers in their game at Calgary. The Vancouver Canucks may be the death knell for them. They lost at Minnesota. They're frozen with 87 points. And the Winnipeg Jets losing at Carolina with 81, officially out of it, as they have a total of 4 games to go. So the Predators and the Lightning tomorrow night. Pre-game at 5, the game at 6. This is Pete Weber reporting.
All the best car deals in Smashville start at Newton Nissan. Visit them at Newton Nissan of Gallatin or Newton Nissan South in Shelbyville.
This is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
Spring has sprung, which means it's time to renew your home with Social Furniture. It's their Spring Fling sale, where all furniture is up to 50% off. That's right, up to 50% off on top name brands such as Serta, Sealy, Simmons, Caracol, Bernhardt, and Woodhouse. At Social Furniture, you'll find new bedroom furniture, mattresses, and sofas, all up to 50% off. Spring into Social Furniture today on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local, shop social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Pro Golf is back in Middle Tennessee. Mark your calendars for the Simmons Bank Open, May 5th through 8th. You can see the next wave of PGA Tour stars. Be sure to visit the Sand Trap at the 14th hole and check out great local food trucks, including Hattie B's, Hogwood Barbecue, Dream Burger, Padrino Pops, cocktails from Jack Daniels, and try the Sand Trap Cream Ale from New Heights Brewing Company. Purchase your tickets now at SimmonsBankOpen.com.
The designer jewelry event of 2022 is this weekend at Genesis Diamonds. See all new creations from the world's biggest names in jewelry. Store-wide savings up to 35% and take advantage of zero-interest financing. Top designers are here with their newest and most inspired lines. Rings, earrings, pendants, bands, bracelets, many being shown for the very first time. Special pricing across the board. Spread your payments with zero-interest financing. Extra savings on GIA-certified diamonds, too. Friday through Sunday only at Genesis Diamonds. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Golf fans, Pro Golf hits Nashville with the PGA Corn Ferry Tour Simmons Bank Open May 5th through the 8th, and you can win a VIP experience for 4 people. Text the word golf right now to 615-737-1025 to enter.
Step up to the plate with Days Date. As one of the only Delta 8 brands that is truly single-sourced, quality and consistency is our guarantee. We are local and aim to provide the purest product while educating the consumer every step of the way. Stock up with Days next time at your local smoke shop. Visit us on Instagram at days.d8.official to learn more about our wide array of products and special offers. To browse our product line, visit dazed8.com, DAZED, number 8.com. The highest quality standard of Delta 8.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne.
NASCAR is back. Kyle Larson returns to Nashville Superspeedway a winner.
Nashville's exclusive home for NASCAR.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
a Cromwell Media Station.
It's Robby and Rexrode with Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in, hour number 3 of Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game, brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Robby Stanley alongside Joe Rexrode, Michelle Konezovic, intern Nick here with you on this Friday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. And we go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in Teron Davenport, ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter, host of Talking with TD. TD, what's going on, brother? How are we doing?
Hey, what's going on? Good morning.
Thanks for coming on with us this morning. TD, there's obviously a lot to get to leading up to the NFL draft. I want to start with the A.J. Brown situation. Deebo Samuel requesting a trade from San Francisco. There's the Instagram Live audio from apparently Deebo's mom that's been out there about negotiations between the Titans and A.J. Brown. What do you make of this whole situation, and what do you make of the ever-changing wide receiver market? It feels like every week it changes at this point, TD.
Yeah, there's a lot to sort through with that. I think really it comes down to A.J. Brown wanting a new contract. And for me, what he should probably do is just wait, because here's what's going to happen. You have 3 guys, well, actually 4, right? A.J. Brown, Deebo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, DK Metcalf. They're going to be getting deals in the near future, and each deal is going to set the floor for the next one. So if you go ahead and sign a deal now, you know, you look at the the deal for the last of the four is going to be a lot more than the first of the four. So I think really it's just a matter of some posturing and trying to get the deal. But I'm not sure that it's the right way to go about it. But, hey, I mean, this is his business and his contract, so I wish him the best. But I think it could be done a little bit more tastefully.
So do you feel like it's just a matter of, he's obviously same agent, Tory Dandy, with Debo and AJ, and I don't know if this is like intended to push publicly like this, all of this stuff. Some of the tweets have been kind of cryptic. Do you feel like this is just, like you said, more in the realm of posturing, or do you feel like there is a possibility that they're just going to be too far apart on this, and should the Titans feel more urgency with the draft coming up?
I definitely feel there's a chance that they're going to be too far apart. I mean, I wouldn't put anything past either side. If $20 million is the max that the Titans want to do, and that's not what A.J. Brown and his camp want, then, they're just going to be apart, and it wouldn't surprise me. You look at some of the deals, DJ Moore's deal is a good one to work off of, but, that average per year deal is like, that's just a fictionary number, So I think at the end of the day, they'll get something worked out. But when it comes to the draft, either way, they're going to need to add receivers to the group, just because that's a place where they're lacking. And you have a guy who's the legit number 2 or 1A receiver in Robert Woods, but he still has to work his way back from injury. So, yeah, I mean, I would look at a receiver in the first round for sure and throughout the draft.
TD, what stood out to you the most yesterday with the press conference with J-Rob and Mike Vrabel?
There were a few things. They went into detail about a couple players that they like in Zion Johnson and Kenyon Green. But I think the thing that stood out the most to me was when Coach Vrabel said that Ryan Tannehill still isn't there. That was kind of I figured, okay, maybe he'll miss the first day and then he'll be in the building. He's not there. It is voluntary, but it just stood out to me that, the quarterback isn't there for those workouts. And just like Coach Vrabel said, all NFL coaches want everybody there, but they have to respect each guy's personal situation. And, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and kill Ryan Tannehill about it, because who knows, it could be a very serious situation. It could be very necessary that he is not in the building, and that's something that we may find out at some point, but they do expect him there.
Another thing that stood out to me, TD, was, we know that Vrabel usually keeps it pretty low-key, doesn't like to especially get too much into, like, individual players, things like that, good or bad, but it sounded to me pretty optimistic from him on the Caleb Farley front. What did you make of that, and how important could that be, and how might that even dictate the draft? Obviously I look at tackle in this draft as maybe a commentary on Dylan Radins. I still think they need to add corner depth, but if they are feeling better and better about him being able to come out and be that third corner this year, that's got to be big for them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny you mentioned that, because I remember when John Robinson was speaking about Caleb Farley, and he stopped, and then someone was about to ask another question, and then Coach Vrabel intervened. So his endorsement of Caleb Farley was unprovoked, right? And he said that he won the award for the quiz that they did, and then he also said that he was light years ahead of where he was at the end of last season. So that's a really good sign, and I would imagine releasing Jackrabbit Jenkins is another indictment, as far as where they stand with him. Now, you mentioned drafting guys. I mean, you got Zion McCollum, Josh Williams. These are a couple, day 3 guys that they could pick. But remember, Buster Screen is in the mix, and they really like him. So I think it's definitely possible that they add some depth in the at the quarterback position, though.
Teron Davenport, ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter, host of Talking with TD, on with us here on Robby and Rexrode. So, TD, we are finally almost here to draft time, and we've talked so much with you about the guards and the wide receivers, all these different things. I want to ask you about the running back position. We see the workouts coming from Derrick Henry on Instagram. Looks to me like he's going to be fine. But there is, Darrington Evans has moved on at this point. You've got Dontrell Hilliard back in the fold. Do you think that that's something that they could take a look at as they get into maybe day 2 or 3 of the draft at the running back position?
Yeah, for sure. It's something they could look at. But don't forget Jordan Wilkins also.
Yep.
He's a pretty good player. And he runs hard, and he fits that, loves the ball moniker that Coach Vrabel and John Robinson want. So that's a guy. But as far as draft, I do think, day 2, probably day 3, you look at a guy like Isaiah Pacheco out of Rutgers. He's 6 feet, 5'11", 6 feet, 217 pounds. He ran a 4.37, and he's a home run hitter, and he's a power runner. So he's someone I could see them picking. I know they were at his pro day at Rutgers. In fact, the running backs coach, Tony Dews, conducted the workout. So I could definitely see him as a guy.
I want to go back on Radunz, TD. I mean, it's good for PK. Gave it a try yesterday on the specify his position. But we had Dave Beauclair on earlier, and I agree with him. I think it's pretty clear that they want him to be the right tackle. That's the intent. That was the intent when they drafted him. At this point, how much do you think they could how certain either way could they be on him going into this draft? I'm asking that poorly, but how much information could be available to them just based on, obviously you have last season, then you have his work with the strength staff, his workouts in the offseason, things like that. There's conversations, there's things like that behind the scenes, but how certain do you think that they could be right now that he is going to be able to do that? And what do you think about him based on all you've seen and heard with Dylan Radunz as this team's starting right tackle?
I feel as though they believe he could be the starting right tackle. And the launching point for me watching it was the 49ers game where he finally got a chance to play. Did well against Nick Bosa. Obviously, that was with some help, but I think that was a good launching point. Now, he worked so much at guard last year, especially in training camp, so it was almost like they were kind of giving him an audition there. I personally feel that he's better suited to play right tackle just because of the strength side of things, whereas when you're at guard, man, you're dealing with, you look no further than the other side of the ball, Jeffrey Williams, right? Or Jeffrey Simmons, excuse me. You're dealing with those types, and it takes a lot more strength and being able to anchor, whereas at tackle, you're dealing with more finesse types, and I think that fits with Dylan Radunz, his skill set and his ability. I think that fits better. So for me, I would have him at right tackle. Now, there have been people that said that, he is more comfortable working on the left side, but I think he'll be fine at right tackle.
Well, TD, it's going to be interesting. The draft next week. We appreciate you taking time to join us this morning, and hope you have a great weekend.
For sure. Appreciate you guys. Take it easy.
Absolutely. Teron Davenport, ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter, host of Talking with TD, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode, joins us every Friday morning at 8 o'clock. We'll react to what TD had to say there, take more of your thoughts as well on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game.
Hey, this is Andrew Allegretta, voice of the Vandy Boys. Listen to the Commodore Hour every Monday at 6 p.m. during the baseball season. Kevin Ingram and I talk with Coach Corbin and special guests on ESPN 94.9 and streaming on the VU Commodores mobile app.
Staples is evolving to Staples Connect, a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore what's new at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com.
Hal Gill here for my good friends at Dunkin'. You know I love Dunkin', and I'm wicked happy that Dunks is all over Nashville. A newly remodeled next-gen Dunkin' location is at 1645 West Main Street in Lebanon. Of course, Dunks has the best coffee, but they have new spring items available as well. Try the salted caramel cream cold brew, shamrock macchiato made with Irish cream swirl, and the roasted tomato toast with hummus or avocado. They also have amazing chocolate croissants. So go treat yourself, go get your Dunks.
It's the official Bud Light Preds watch party as your Nashville Predators take on the Tampa Bay Lightning this Saturday. The puck drops at 6, but the party starts at 5:30 with all kinds of specials. See you at Headquarters Beercade, downtown Nashville on 2nd Avenue. Go Preds!
At Copper Branch, they live life to the fullest. Food is your energy and your life. Located in the heart of downtown Nashville, their goal is to serve you, your friends, and family quality, great-tasting, plant-based power foods. Visit Copper Branch at 601 Church Street for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with convenient and validated parking during library hours, and download their app for curbside pickup. Or come out for songwriter and live music nights several times throughout the week to empower, energize, and feel your best. Visit Copper Branch today.
Zines First is the official sign company for 1025 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dashboard light problems? We can help. Our free Fix Finder service can read your check engine light, ABS light, and service indicator light, and give you possible solutions, verified by licensed technicians. You'll even get detailed results sent straight to your email so you have them when you need it most. It's the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes. The free Fix Finder service, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
More details at AutoZone.com.
What makes mulch so lovable? The texture? The smell? Well, it's not just people that love mulch. Your plants do too. Retaining moisture and regulating soil temps, it's the whole package. And when you use Scott's Earthgrow or exclusive Vigoro wood mulches, you can even pick the color. What's not to love? Stop in for mulch and everything else you need this season. It feels like spring at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Stop buying tickets without rewards and start getting more from the only ticketing company that rewards you for buying, Vivid Seats. Buy 10 tickets, the 11th is on us. That's like 10% back every time you buy. And with 100% buyer guarantee and over 100 million tickets sold, that's something to sing, laugh, cheer, scream, buy about. Head to vividseats.com for terms and conditions. Vivid Seats. Life happens live.
Interact with Robby and Rexrode. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game. Streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. We are live from the Hillside Medical Game Studio here with you on this Friday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. Thanks to Teron Davenport for joining us in the last segment. We'll be joined by the legendary Terry Crisp coming up at 8:30. We'll get his thoughts on a special weekend for him last week and also the Preds as they take on the Lightning and the Wild this weekend as well. So looking forward to Terry Crisp coming up at 8:30. Call your shot Friday at 8:45. So lots to get to left here on this hour. Right now, taking your thoughts on the text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Matt from Camden texting in says, at this point, I think Radens is going to be the right tackle. I think if the plan was different, they would have already signed someone. I just don't see them using their first or third round pick on a tackle when they need a wide receiver and a guard. This coming from Matt from Camden.
You may be right. You may be right. But, not signing someone could also mean they've got their eyes on someone in the draft. Pennington from Northern Iowa, I don't know. Or wait, is it Penning? Is it Penning or Pennington? Dang it. By the way, it was Tyler Linderbaum from earlier.
From Beauclair?
Yeah.
He's going like Billy Joel on us. You may be wrong for all I know, but you may be right.
Yeah, there you go. Good line.
Thank you. Big Billy Joel guy here.
It's amazing.
Glass houses.
You have good musical taste, and then you think the Beatles stink. It's just amazing stuff.
Is that my Toons' take? Just right off the side.
Yeah, exactly. You're fine. And then but I mean, look, right now, well, let's see. I think my last mock, and I got another mock. One more mock to go.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Get it in there.
Well, actually, 2 more mocks to go because we have to do everyone going in on a mock, which could involve trades. And
so
then
you mean
also,
to tell me that last year I set the over-under at 3.5 and you didn't do it, and I didn't set it this year and you will do 4 now?
Well, but see, I guess does it count? Does it count if I just take part in one that everyone's doing? I don't know that really counts, does it?
Oh, it counts.
Okay. Well, then I'm hitting the over. And then maybe last year I did more than I said then. You know what I mean?
So now we've got to go investigate.
Yeah, we may have to relitigate that one too. But I think I had interior offensive lineman and receiver for the first and third. So I'm predicting what you say too, but I'm not convinced in it. I'm not convinced that, because again, you do, if there's someone you absolutely love, you're like, this is going to be a great tackle for the Tennessee Titans. And I understand, folks. They said that about Isaiah Wilson. They said that last year about Dylan Radins, and we don't know yet about Dylan Radins. But point taken, right? I mean, they haven't done well so far with the offensive line drafting of late, but you still have to go about it that way. And if you believe you got someone, you are still also thinking about down the road, because Taylor Lewan's not going to be your starting left tackle for too much longer.
You brought up an interesting comment, I thought, yesterday from Mike Vrabel about Caleb Farley, and TD talked about it in the last segment too, but it was an interesting kind of exchange. Don Robinson's answering a question, and then Mike Vrabel basically, interjects himself in there about Caleb Farley. Here's what Mike Vrabel had to say yesterday about the Titans' first-round pick from last year.
He had a good first week. I'll tell you that. He's, just to touch on that, had a really good first week. Light years ahead of where he ended. So not only just rehab, but just from a mental perspective and just being in those meetings and, having him answer questions. And I'm not going to say who he beat, but he won the quiz competition today. So I'm not going to tell the other guys that he beat, but he did a nice job.
So that was Vrabel talking about Caleb Farley, saying he's light years ahead of where he was when he ended the season, not only in terms of rehab, but the mental side of the game as well, and apparently did well in the quiz competition. I don't know. I'm totally reading into this, but he did say, I'm not going to say who he beat, and the first person I thought of was Kevin Byard. That's the first person I thought of.
That's a good point. I guess I thought of Christian Fulton.
Maybe.
But because no one's beaten Kevin Byard, right?
That's just what I thought.
But maybe the fact that he said that, I'm not going to say that makes it. So in your mind, that made it seem like it was like
he just
really
took down
impressive,
somebody. Yeah,
like he took down a big dog.
Yeah.
Maybe. Wow.
Robbie, I thought the same thing on that one.
Yeah,
interesting.
I have no inside knowledge. That's just what I thought.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is it? Is that particular quiz? I assume that's specific to DBs, or
I would assume.
Is it specific to the corner position?
Or
is it the whole defense? If that's the case, maybe he took down Jeff Simmons. No, that's right. Jeff Simmons isn't there.
No.
Why aren't we talking about that all the time? Why aren't we mad about that?
Leadership.
But yeah, no, the fact that he decided, hey, like TD said, by the way, I want to give a comment on this. I'm not even asked, and he jumped in and said it. So, again, Farley is, to me, the number one returning player, other than Tannehill, the number one returning player storyline. But even with Tannehill, I expect him to be good this year in the regular season. I don't know exactly what he'll be, but Tannehill has a track record. You have a general idea of what Tannehill is. It's the most important position, so fine, he's number one. But Farley's number two because we just don't know, and it's such a big deal. If you cement that position, and now you've got Molden, Farley, Fulton, with everything else you have on defense, you got a chance to be on a real short list of best defenses in the NFL.
Caleb, maybe Farley, on the text line says, I feel like you don't. If you don't have a top 10 pick, you should wait and get offensive line in the later rounds. And I heard Joe say Farley would be the third corner. Who are the top two if Farley isn't? Well, you've got Fulton and then Molden.
Well, Molden's your slot corner. Yeah. Basically, base defense anymore is with three corners. Yeah. You're playing with three corners a ton. So your outside corners are Farley. Farley is designated to take Jack Rabbit or Janoris Jenkins' outside corner spot opposite Fulton. Molden is your slot corner. And now you're talking about three young players on rookie deals who could be really good. I think Molden is also a guy who I bet you he takes a jump this year. I think there's way more good than bad last year. He looked like a rookie at times. And, you're just going to get beat at that position at times in the NFL. But
he got way better as the season went on.
Yeah, I bet you that's going to be a pick that looks better and better for them.
I think so, too. Man, look, if you could get Farley in there, obviously they saw something with him in terms of his physical ability that they loved, which is why they selected him where he did. And I think you brought this up with TD, and I agree. Like, Vrabel doesn't usually go out of his way, one way or the other, to really just heap praise on someone or say anything negative about somebody. He's very much about the team. But it was interesting that he wasn't even asked about Caleb Farley yesterday. John Robinson was, and then Vrabel just kind of jumped in there. Like, that tells me that he likes what he's seen from Caleb Farley.
Now, granted, sometimes in situations like that, like a coach, like, well, maybe like a public vote of confidence is good or something like that. You never know. But I don't think Vrabel's not really. I don't think he really thinks that way or tries to like use the media or whatever to send messages. So, sounds like there's some genuine excitement, and that's just a big deal. Big deal. Number one, way beyond everything else, is just his health.
Yep.
But I mean, Vrabel made it clear, mentally in terms of grasping everything. I mean, he said in Indy, it's like it's so much about him being in the playbook and using this time to get as much mastery of the D as possible. Kevin Byard said last year at move-out day, he's going to be a project of mine. Caleb Farley. You can't ask for a better like mentor leader in terms of here's how you get into the details of the game to give you an edge. You can't have anybody better than Byard.
Maybe he shared too much. Took him down in the quiz.
Maybe he did. It's like Darth Vader and Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Do you get that one, Michelle? Michelle's not even listening to us anymore. Tuned us out.
No, I was
Friday.
editing something.
You're trying to do your job in there?
Stop it.
I don't watch the Star Wars. Was that it? What was that the reference?
Yeah, I made a Star Wars reference. Obi-Wan and
by the way, Kenobi.
Obi-Wan
coming out May
Kenobi.
25th.
I do know that though. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
There you go. Nice. Kenobi, the show Kenobi, 25th.
Yeah, May 25th.
Second season.
First season.
Oh, why did I think that was already out?
I don't know.
Ewan McGregor, right? Is it? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Gosh, too much good stuff.
That's right. But no, I think the Farley part of this. Look, at the end of the day, we're going to find out a lot more in training camp because when there's a difference between working out in the off season and then lining up across from A.J. Brown and seeing what happens there. I mean, obviously,
Titans fans hope he's lining up.
Hopefully A.J. Brown's there for Caleb Farley to line up against in training camp. But it's going to come down to what's on the field. We've talked about our concerns of, the injury part of it's one thing, but it's also he's not really played much cornerback. So I would imagine the learning curve for him may have been a little steeper than it was for others who have played cornerback for a long time. He basically had 1 year at cornerback at Virginia Tech, and then he was hurt, and then he was in the NFL. So not a ton of experience playing that position at all, regardless of the level of football.
Right. And yesterday there were questions. Again, Jared asked many 2019 questions.
Yes, he did.
The idea, and these questions have been asked before, but what did you do in 2019 that you didn't do the last two? Obviously, that was the last really not COVID-affected draft, right? But Robinson's answer was, we picked a good guy. We picked the right player. Same process. But Farley and Radins still have the – I mean, we may end up, and the tight sure hope this is the case, looking back at everything, and 2020 stands out as the bad draft. Yeah, 2020 is not – I mean, it's not going to be a good draft. Fulton is a nice find.
But even if he's a great player, you're talking about your first-round pick and your third-round pick being nothing
right.
for you.
But this last draft, right now, we look at it like, gosh, it's been 2 straight years of rough drafts. Well, tell you what, if Radins is your starting right tackle and is at least serviceable, and then Farley is a good starting corner, then all of a sudden, 2020 stands alone.
We'll continue to take your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Terry Crisp coming up next. We'll get his thoughts on the Predators as they take on the Tampa Bay Lightning coming up tomorrow on the road. ESPN 102.5 The Game is Nashville's official home of NASCAR. Tune in this Sunday at 1 o'clock for the Geico 500 at Talladega Super Speedway. Also, you can get set for the race with Chasing Checkers with Chase McCabe every Sunday at 8 o'clock on 102.5 The Game. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Hi, I'm UC Saros. And this is Smashville.
Now here's a try off to the side. What a stop made by UC Saros there.
Unreal. You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
It's Dell Technologies' biggest business sale of the year with Black Friday early access deals on Windows 11 PCs. Call 877-ASK-DELL. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business.
Don't miss the historic opening of Geodis Park on May 1st as Nashville SC comes home for the first time of the 2022 season. Become a season ticket member starting at only $357 to ensure you are there for the big day. Come on in and grab a seat at NashvilleSC.com/22ticks.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, part of our under 100 horsepower tractor lineup rated #1 for reliability. Z Series mowers and Sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Bring home the Kubota L2501 tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months, plus save up to $1,100 now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
Krebs Kubota. Stop in, click, or call. Visit them online at KrebsKubota.com.
Let's add a little red right there. Hey, we'll be right with you.
For Bianca's flower shop, spring orders and Mother's Day are a tricky arrangement.
Hey, can I get help repotting this fiddle leaf?
She needs to put the pedal to the metal and find more florists.
What? We're running low on daisies. How does that even happen?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Friends, ever heard the grass is always greener on the other side? If you're in a dead-end job, you want greener grass. Well, My Computer Career can help. In months, not years, they can give you a new life as an IT pro. You learn from home by taking classes live online. Financial aid is available to those who qualify. And My Computer Career offers lifetime career services, which helps you find jobs with companies begging for IT pros. Go to mycomputercareer.edu today and take the free career evaluation. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Big Lou wants to remind you that just because baseball season is starting late, that doesn't mean you should get a late start on owning a term life insurance policy. Big Lou at Term Provider knows that life can throw quite a curveball, and the last thing you want to do is strike out with your family watching. If you're 50 years old, have type 2 diabetes, or other health issue, Big Lou may be able to find you $1 million or more of term life insurance for about $200 a month. A life insurance policy from Big Lou will guarantee you a spot in your family's Hall of Fame. To find out just how affordable life insurance can be for you, get on the phone and call Big Lou at 800-511-3535. 800-511-3535. Before life throws that nasty curveball at you, call in the world's best pinch hitter, Big Lou. Call 800-511-3535. 800-511-3535 or biglou.com.
If your vehicle squeals or grinds when you slow down or just isn't stopping like it used to, you may need new brakes. Through May 24th, check out the spring brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts and get 15% off a set of Brake Best Select or Import Direct brake pads with 2 rotors. Restore safe braking and save money now at O'Reilly Auto Parts or shop online at O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Sunday. The Cup Series shifts to the 2.5-mile Talladega Superspeedway with the Geico 500. Coverage begins at 1 on Nashville's home for NASCAR.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, Trey Wingo here. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game, brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Konezovic, intern Nick here with you on this Friday morning. And we go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in the legendary Terry Crisp, brought to you by Copper Branch. Eat, think, change. Crispy, what's going on? How we doing?
Good morning, guys. Just wonderful today so far. Beautiful sunny day out, and getting ready for a big tilt tomorrow night down in Tampa. And I see the Lightning took Toronto to the woodshed last night and put the wood to them. They 8-1. So hopefully they used up all their goals against Toronto and didn't save any against us. Got a little help, I see, where the Flames took Dallas 4-2, so that helps. Minnesota's taking Vancouver out of the race. LA's still alive, so yep, it's still, the race is still on.
Yeah, there's no question about that. The standings are quite interesting as the Preds head into the game tomorrow against Tampa Bay. Crispy, before we get into that, I'm just curious, just now that it's done and it's over with and you've had some time to think about it, what was last weekend like for you? Just to be back with Pete and obviously the ceremony itself, just everything that went into last week. What are kind of your thoughts and emotions on the week that was for you?
You know, Sheila and I have been sitting here because all of our Canadian friends just left and whatnot, or family. And we were going over, we said, it's sort of unbelievable. It was, when we first started, I don't want to use the word embarrassing, but when you're retiring, you know, you always want to quietly go in the sunset and whatever. And then suddenly the Predators, the class organization that they are, decided, no, Crispy, we want to have some fun with it. We want you to have some fun with your last, with radio with Pete, TV with Pete. Took us up to Calgary, took us to Philly, taking us to Tampa, Sheila and I, to revisit the haunts that I either played in or coached in. It's been unbelievable. And the past week has been unreal. And I said to Sheila, when you sit down and you look over all the 24 years here, the one word that jumps up into our mind, Sheila and I both, is class. How class the Predators organization has been from the first game till to now, and I don't see that changing for this organization. But it's been, and I'm going to use this word, when we started I was a little leery, but it's been fun. Totally, totally fun for Sheila and I.
So, Crispy, I appreciate you and Lindsay letting me hang out the other night watching that game with you. I had a lot of fun, some things I can't repeat. But
I was going to say, did you scribble out those ones I told you to scribble out in your notebook?
I mean, at the Athletic, we can use
Rexy, what happens on the concourse stays on the concourse.
That's right. I mean, the Athletic, we can use swear words, but maybe not that colorful of swear words. But I gotta say,
I didn't know you had such big eyebrows. You lifted them so many times.
But it was interesting contrast because I so much enjoyed listening to you and Pete. And you were calling the Blues game, and little bit of a rough second period. It's amazing, like I guess the composure, right? That you have to kind of turn the switch on and off when you go from in front of the microphone to off, right? Like, what was that experience like for you?
Well, the one thing you learn is, and I laughed when I went up and sat with Pete Weber for our first go round on the radio the night on the Saturday night game. When we got up to the booth and we were kibitzing, I looked down, there's this big sheet of paper, and our production man, Bob Horner, had put, Crispy, please remember, rule number 1, the mic is always hot. And I was starting to laugh, but that set the tone for the whole night for Pete and I. But Bob's been with us from day one, Bob Horner, and he knows us, and he left this big sign on the desk. So that set the tone.
No question about it. Bob is an absolute legend. So, Crispy, obviously, it was a big win for the Predators against Calgary the other night. We had Dan Lambert on, says that's probably the best game they've played in a while in terms of the game on Tuesday against Calgary. What do you make of where the team is, how they're playing as they head into a big one tomorrow against Tampa Bay and then back on Sunday against Minnesota?
I'm going to use that Calgary game, as you just said, Rick, about our litmus test. And if we play like that and get better in a couple of little areas, we're going to be fine. That's our game. Our game is going to the body, taking the man, not stupid, cheap, unwanted penalties, but playing the man when we should, fighting for the puck in the corner. And if anybody noticed the lack of how many odd man rushes we allowed Calgary, and they're a good team, a good offensive team, a good counter team. And we did that by finally playing smart. We weren't pinching at the wrong time. We didn't expect our defensemen to be forwards the whole game. We didn't expect that our defensemen had to come down deep every rush. And our guys were back covering up. I thought defensively it was one of our best overall team games in a long time, looking after the things that we should have, and especially in our defensive zone. We were coming back. The guys were coming back hard. They were picking up the man. They were working in front of the net, taking Calgary away. So I take heart with that game. That's the game that I would keep that video to show the guys.
Crispy, we've been talking about these lines, and it's pretty clear, Michael McCarron's coming back. Cody Glass sent back to Milwaukee. Just an interesting situation. Right now you're trying to get in the playoffs. Forsberg and Duchesne get put back together. but you've got other moving pieces. I mean, how do you look at the line situation? I guess where would you put Cunnin? And then also, just from a coaching perspective, with a week left, still trying to get in, but also trying to get ready if you do get in, how do you view the importance of kind of trying to stick with lines, or is it okay to just keep tinkering and just do what works on a particular night?
No, I'm going to be honest, my coaching things, I really don't give a damn. I'm going to tell the guys in the dressing room, whoever's working hard is going to play. And if I don't think you're up to standards, you're not playing. You're not dressing. We don't have time to soothe your feelings. We don't have time to mollycoddle you right now. Right now, we're in a race. And I'm telling you, and I'm looking at all of you guys. Now, having said that, you do know that certain guys are going to be in the game no matter what. But there's 3 or 4 guys that can move around or whatever. And if they're not getting the job done, you move them. And at this stage of the game, I don't care who you put with who out there. They all know each other. And Coach Hines is good at that, and he knows that he always keeps 2 guys together on any line. So if he has to break up a line, he will leave, say, Forsberg and Duchesne together and add a Granlund or whoever. And the same with the other one, with the Herd line. He'll move one of them and leave the two of them together. So that way it has the one area where you don't want to juggle and you don't like to juggle is on the defense core. You like to leave them as mates, the 2, because they've only got the 2 guys to think with, themselves and Saros, of course. The forwards are otherwise you're up front and they're moving around and passing. But I think if you can get your 6 defensemen solid and playing in pairs, that's one of the keys.
Terry Crisp on with us here on Robby and Rexrode. And Crispy, we were talking about this the other day. Ekholm, after the Edmonton game, was talking about how they just couldn't establish their forecheck at all. And I thought they did a much better job of that against Calgary the other night. But this time of year, you mentioned being smarter earlier. How much of that comes down to just being smarter with the puck, too? Knowing when to enter the zone, knowing when to dump it in there and get in on the forecheck. It feels like with the way the Predators play, that's got to be a pretty big emphasis for them as they move forward.
It is. That's our game. We can't do like we've been doing the last little while, go back over a few of these last games. We all thought we were Lone Rangers, and we're going to do it by ourselves. We're going to take the puck from our zone and wheel through our zone, through the neutral zone, get it in deep. No. Teams are too tough now. Teams are too good. We got to get back to head manning the puck. If you're ahead of me by 5 feet, I give it to you, and I go by you, you give it to me. And when we hit the neutral zone, and if we see that the blockade is there, we got to get it in deep. Why do we try a one-handed move with one hand on our stick, thinking we're going to beat the guys? The guys are too tough now. The other teams they know us. So our game right now is to make sure that everything's going, like the coach says, north. If you're sitting in the south end, it's going north. And before the last game, we'd had too many turnovers in neutral zone, all because guys were being cute. And that includes the defensemen and the forwards. They were trying to carry the puck through the neutral zone, losing the puck. And then what's the sense of me being a forward, racing down the ice to make an attack, and then I got to stop at the blue line and wait to see if you're going to dilly-dally your way through the neutral zone so I can pick up speed again and go again. What good does that do me? I get a little tired of stopping going at the blue line. If we see the blockage there and I'm going and you can't make it, throw it in. I got a head of steam to arrive at the same time as their defenseman. So let's get on the same page here, guys. If I'm steamrolling, keep it going.
All right, Crispy. Colorado, Calgary. If the Preds get in, it's one of those 2. Is there a significant difference in your mind?
No. They're both good teams. They both play the same. They both have depth. They both have good goaltending, and they both play a tough hockey game with you. But you know what? I'm going to go back to, and if our team even thinks about this, the Hurricane series against the Hurricanes. We played great hockey. Like, we had them on the ropes, and they were one of the teams that was supposedly to win the Stanley Cup that year. And if you go back over our games, we played solid hockey against them. Why can't we repeat that again? That's what we're going to need against either Colorado or Calgary. It doesn't matter. They're both the same teams. We'll have to play, obviously, above and beyond. But, again, against the Hurricanes, we showed we're capable of it.
Well, Crispy, I hope you enjoyed last week. I wasn't on the show last Friday, so I didn't get a chance to talk to you, but it's been cool. I mean, you and Pete were on TV together when I was 6 years old. I'm now 29, hosting a radio show.
You had to get that dig in there,
I did have to get the dig in there, but it's been cool just growing up watching you two do hockey games, and than getting to be around you. It's been such a fun journey. Love you, and just hope you had a good time last week.
Thank you guys for everything so much. And like I said, Sheila and I are not going to disappear. We're going to stay here. We love Nashville. We're going to be here. And as for that, working with Pete has been just like a wonderful journey for me. I couldn't have found a better partner, or they couldn't have found a better partner for me. So, and for you guys, hey, thanks for having me on, fellas, because I've always enjoyed it, kibitzing with you. And anyways, we'll see you all at the rink and in the playoffs. Just tell our fans, which they've done now for 24 years, bring the passion.
That's right. Terry Crisp, ladies and gentlemen, joins us every Friday morning at 8:30 here on Robby and Rexrode. Pred's taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning tomorrow. They'll take on Minnesota coming up on Sunday as well. It is time for Call Your Shot Friday here on Robby and Rexrode. We'll take your submissions, your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. The NBA playoffs are here, and you can make every game feel like Game 7 on FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA. Throughout the playoffs, all customers can place a no-sweat same-game parlay every single week. You'll get up to $20 in free bets if you don't win, and FanDuel has so many ways to play. Best of all, when you do win, you'll get paid faster than a fast break. The Miami Heat taking on the Atlanta Hawks tonight in Game 3. The Heat have smoked Atlanta so far. Give me the Heat on the money line. Give me Jimmy Butler over on points as well. But you can take it any way you want to take it. If you're new to FanDuel, just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Sign up with promo code ROB. Once again, that promo code is ROB. And if you already have an account, you're all set to bet. Either way, you get up to $20 in free bets if your same-game parlay during the playoffs doesn't win. FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet of $20 per week. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Got a gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Every Wednesday at 5, join us for Jared versus Joe as they debate all of the big topics in sports, presented by Parman Tractor and Equipment and Mayweather Boxing and Fitness on ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Sunshine all day long today with highs heading up near a record. Forecast high, 85. Record high, 86.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today. We buy any car. We buy any car. We buy any car. Any. We buy any car. Any make, any model, any age, any price from $50 to $100,000. We buy any car. We buy any car. Any. We buy any car. Sell your car the easy way. Go online and sell it today. We buy any car. Any. Find out how much your car's worth at We Buy Any Car.
Genesis Diamonds' once-a-year spring extravaganza is here this weekend. 3 days of phenomenal savings store-wide. You save up to 35% off Genesis' already guaranteed best prices. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, and more. Plus special finance. You can even trade in your old jewelry for some amazing new designs from our world-class designers who flew in just for this. Extra savings on GIA-certified diamonds, too. It's our biggest sale all year. This Friday through Sunday only. And only at Genesis Diamonds. Green Hills and Cool Springs. See store for details.
Parman Tractor and Equipment is your one-stop tractor and equipment solution, and Middle Tennessee's Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer. Rent or purchase a track loader, mini excavator, large excavators for your job site, or something in between. Parman is now hiring and seeking qualified candidates for construction equipment truck drivers, service technicians, and more. Apply at ParmanTractor.com or call 615-865-7800. Come be an employee owner with the Parman team, your Middle Tennessee Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer.
New message.
What up? It's Heather's cousin. You dated her in college, or maybe you were just in the same class. Anyway, I heard you bought a boat, my man. Let's hit the water. Oh, and Heather told me you always liked, snacks and stuff, so I could totally bring some chips.
When you get a boat, you also get new friends. Make sure Progressive's one of them, and get coverage today for as little as $100 a year.
Hey, also, I'm a little short on cash, so can you cover the chips? Thanks. I can see why Heather liked you.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Annual premium for basic liability policy not available in all states.
Darren McFarland.
And a mulligan that we all look for in golf. Lord knows our game could use it.
Willie Donick.
Outworked and outperformed a lot of other really good players.
Chase McCabe.
I want some sort of trade protection.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Robby and Rexrode is on ESPN 102.5 The Game. The sports weekend has arrived. You know what that means.
Shoot your shot.
It's time for Call Your Shot Friday with Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
And it is that time of the week, time for Call Your Shot Friday here on Robby and Rexrode, presented by Days Delta 8, the highest quality standard of Delta 8. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knesvik, intern Nick here with you on this Friday morning. We'll take your called shots on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Joe Rexrode, how did we do last week in Call Your Shot Friday? I did not have called shots last week, so how did you and Michelle do?
Chase jumped in. Chase jumped in and called some shots, too. So let's see. I said Matt Duchene will be the first to reach 40.
Ooh.
But I said it'll be versus Chicago. So it's like half, right?
He got one goal against Chicago.
That's right. He got to 39,
yeah.
And then, of course, he got 40 against Calgary. I said Steph Curry will come off the bench, score 20 for Golden State on Saturday in a rout of Denver, and I believe I was absolutely right.
He had 30, but yeah.
I said Tennessee baseball, which just had a 23-game streak broken by Tennessee Tech. The Vols will rip off 11 in a row before losing. They lost that night, of course, to Alabama, and then said Alabama was going to eat it or taste it or whatever, and then beat Alabama soundly the next two games. And so we'll see, but I was wrong. And Jeff Fisher's Michigan Panthers will kick 5 field goals in their opener. I think they didn't kick 4. No. I thought it was 4, but it was 2 with a missed extra point. So better luck next time. More field goals, please. Chase said dirt race at Bristol coming up Sunday. Daniel Suarez will get the win. He did not. It was I think it was Harvick, right?
Yeah.
He said Forsberg will get the 2 to reach 40 over the weekend. That didn't happen. And long term, said Matt Olson will have more homers than Freddie Freeman this year. So some Braves fandom still stinging over the loss of Freeman.
Yeah.
But Olson can hit him out. Michelle said Grizzlies will win by 12. Ja Morant triple-double. Of course, the Grizzlies lost that game. That's a big key for me in weekend winners versus you guys. Preds, both games are shutouts in honor of Terry Crisp. A little bit off on that one.
A little bit off.
Gave up a touchdown in the second quarter of one of those games.
They did.
And then the White Sox. God, This Ryan.
White Sox and Bulls.
Stop rooting for Ryan's teams. You know what? He can be your boyfriend. You don't have to adopt his teams. I'm getting pissed by this.
But here's the thing. When I get a reaction out of you, it just makes me want to do it even more.
That is true. I'm never watching Office Space. Ever.
No, you're hurting your own life, okay? Hey, Peter, Channel 2. Oh, God. Lines of that movie keep coming through to me, man. Turn to Channel 2, Peter. All of you know what I'm talking about.
Not me. Michelle, would you like to kick us off this week and Call Your Shot Friday?
Sure, I would love to. So I'm doing a lot of NBA action because it is just one of the best times of the year. Okay, first, my Miami Heat. Bam Adebayo with a double-double, and they beat the Hawks by 15 points on the dot.
15 exactly. Mute for Robby Stanley.
Mute for Robbie.
That's because you said the Office Space thing.
Well, you've had like 12 this week.
And they sweep the series, but I don't think that's much of a shot. It's because they're already kind of there.
Okay.
But we'll add that. DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine combined for 9 3-pointers.
Okay.
In tonight's game.
All right.
Sure.
The Bulls beat the Bucks in this series and move on.
Okay.
Okay?
All
Joe?
right.
Yeah, let's laugh at that. I'm glad you picked that because I'm going to laugh and cackle when it doesn't happen.
Well, Middleton's out. We don't know. Just got to wait and see. And then finally, the Preds beat Tampa in Tampa 4-0.
Wow. Shutout of the Lightning. All the goals were used by Tampa Bay. Michelle's big on shutouts.
You do not believe the Preds are giving up any goals, ever.
Ever. Listen, last week was a fluke.
Just a TD in one period.
Joe Rexrode, your called shots of the week.
All right. Macau Granlund will have a second straight game winner, this one in 3-on-3 instead of a shootout.
I like that.
Preds win 4-3 at Tampa.
Okay.
I got the T-Wolves bouncing back. We talked about this earlier with the Grizzlies. That's the type of game that can break a team. And it might, but I'm going to call – that's why I think this is a called shot. The T-Wolves are actually going to bounce back. Karl Anthony's going to have 25+, and this thing's going back to Memphis tied.
Probably not.
Okay.
We'll see. And the Warriors will see the Nuggets. That's not the shot. I mean, that wouldn't be shocking. But Otto Porter will score 15+ in the clincher in Game 4.
Okay. I like that.
There you go.
All right. Very quickly, my called shots. The Miami Heat will take on the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals. Miami Heat, Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals, in which
saucy.
Joe Rexrode and I will throw things at each other from across the studio.
How fun would that be?
Philip Forsberg will overtake Matt Duchene in goals by the end of this weekend. So Philip Forsberg will be leading the Predators in goals by the end of this weekend. David Riddick will win his start this weekend. Not UC Saros. David Riddick wins his start this weekend, and the Grizzlies win by 15 or more tomorrow against Minnesota. I think Minnesota's done. I think the Grizzlies win by 15 or more. And finally, since this is the last Call Your Shot Friday edition before the Titans will make their first-round draft pick.
Good point.
Give me Zion Johnson, the selection.
That's a good point, Rob.
That is a good point. Now I wanted to get in on that too. Okay. I'm going to say Titans draft. Well, we're calling shots. Desmond Ritter.
Ooh.
And I'm going to say A.J. Brown is signed to a contract extension for give him $24 million a year.
Okay.
How many years?
I don't know. 5?
3 or 4?
4.
I don't think it'd be 5.
Okay.
And also,
24.
Pelicans beat the Suns.
She just keeps going.
In the series.
The shots keep getting called.
Yes, they do. She's like 4th. By the way, quick side note before we get to the text line called shots. How about Vrabel yesterday being like, yeah, I don't have any inside knowledge on Zion Johnson. He just went to the same college my son went to and roomed with him. But other than that.
Well, then he's like, and then someone was like, they live together. He's like, yeah, they live together. And Tyler doesn't say anything, and Zion doesn't say anything. So they probably never talk, or something like that. So.
Kyle on the text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, says, my called shot is that the Preds win both games this weekend and shut out one of the two teams. So Kyle's calling 2 wins for the Preds this weekend, and one of them is a shutout. Got another texture that says, called shot, A.J. Brown gets traded this week. A.J. Brown gets traded.
That is a shot. I figured someone would call that shot.
Yeah.
It's within the realm of possibility.
It's going to be
I don't
interesting.
think it's going to happen, but I mean, it's at least like it's more discussable than it was when the Jets were just poking around trying to find someone.
So are you going to – is A.J. Brown a member of the team? By the time next Call Your Shot Friday rolls around, I'll throw it out there to you.
Yeah, and I'd call the shot. If not, it's not a shot to say he will be, but yeah,
no,
yeah, he'll still be a member of the team. I think. Hey, we'll see what happens.
We will. Jeff on the text line says, have you guys seen the video footage supposedly showing Karl Anthony Towns kneeing John Morant on at least 3 separate occasions, trying to hurt him? I've not seen that.
I have not. Where is that? Where is that?
Was Karl Anthony Towns spending more time trying to hurt John Morant last night than trying to shoot the ball?
Yeah, so it sounds like he did that more than shooting.
He shot 4 times last night. No, I haven't seen that.
We'll look it up.
We'll continue to take your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Call Your Shot Friday, presented by Days Delta 8, the highest quality standard of Delta 8. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
The MTSU Blue Raiders live here.
Touchdown, Middle Tennessee! 3-ball, yes, sir!
And when you're in the borough, tune us in on 97.5.
In the end zone, caught, touchdown!
We are Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Baseball in the Bluegrass. This is the Commodore Report. I'm Kevin Ingram. Vanderbilt baseball begins the second half of the conference season tonight at Kentucky for a 3-game series. The Commodores are off their first series win since the opening week of SEC play after taking 2 out of 3 against Florida. Assistant coach Tyler Shoemaker says it was good to see the team's leaders step up after a challenging stretch.
We're going to get into close ball games, and we need to find a way to win those. And then you see guys step up, the Bolgers, the Keegans, the Colwicks, the leaders on the teams, the Joneses, really step up and have great weekends, but they were at the plate whenever we need them to. And to see their energy and the connection come back, that's how it's supposed to feel.
That from Monday's Commodore Hour. Shoemaker's in his first season with the Vandy boys, working with the catchers and coaching first base. First pitch in Lexington tonight at 5:30 Central Time. Chris McElvain getting the ball. Then 11 a.m. on Saturday and noon Central Time on Sunday. Hear all the action on the Vanderbilt Sports Network from Learfield. A strong second-round finish keeps Vanderbilt men's golf in the lead at the SEC Championships at St. Simons. At 13 under par, Scott Limbaugh's group is 4 shots ahead of Florida going into the final round of stroke play on Friday. Reed Davenport and Gordon Sargent are tied for second at -4. Women's tennis advances in the SEC tournament in Gainesville, defeating Ole Miss 4-2. Vandy plays top seed Texas A&M today at 11 o'clock. And Vandy's track and field squad will take part in the Georgia Tech Invitational today and tomorrow down in Atlanta. That is the Commodore Report on 102.5 The Game and ESPN 94.9.
This is Chef John from Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville. Invite you to come join us for breakfast and lunch. We are offering some exciting new menu items. For breakfast, we have a smoked prime rib hash. Comes with a sunny side up egg, hominy, caramelized onions. It's a great start to your day. We are featuring a sourdough pancake made with a sourdough bread starter. It's a fun spin on the classic buttermilk pancake. As always, Kitchen Notes is serving biscuits all day. Come join us and create a memorable experience here at the Omni Hotel. Food is all about memories for us. We'd like you to start a new memory here at Kitchen Notes in the Omni Hotel.
Breakfast at Kitchen Notes in the Omni Nashville Hotel.
This segment of ESPN 102.5 The Game is brought to you by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent Train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Signs First is the official sign company for 102.5 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County,
ESPN
102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell media station.
It's Robby and Rexrode with Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in. Final hour of Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Konezvik, intern Nick here with you on this Friday morning. As we learned earlier in the show, hard-hitting intern Nick. Don't mess with him on the football field.
Right? Man, it's good to know.
They're just
we have
laying
some
the wood.
footage. There's got to be some footage of this, right?
You got a highlight tape?
Yeah, come on. What's the huddle? Got a huddle highlight tape?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Let's
He
see
does.
it.
By the way, apparently today is Earth Day, so happy Earth Day, Joe.
Nice.
Every
Happy
day's a
Earth
day.
Day.
Every day's a day.
Earth Day is pretty important, so happy Earth Day. Yesterday, I think, was Happy High Five Day.
Cool.
That was according to Big Joe, though.
Did you give
So never
Vrabel a
know.
high five?
Big Joe may have just been high-fiving himself and making up days. What's that?
Did you give Vrabel a high five?
Yes. And
Friend
a
of the show.
hug. Big hug.
Yes.
Great. A tender reunion.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. How about the Grizzlies last night? They were down 26 in that game. They come back to win in Minnesota. They take a 2-1 series lead. That was, first off, incredible. I mean, they were getting destroyed in the first half of that game last night. I tweeted out, like, does anybody want to tell the Grizzlies what time the game starts here? And after that, they seemed to figure it out. So I don't want to take credit for it.
Credit to you.
I might. But what a game last night. They come back and win. And I don't know. I just feel like not all losses are created equal. And sometimes when you lose a game in the fashion that Minnesota just lost that game, it's over. Like, I think back to the 2013 NBA Finals when the Spurs basically had the championship won against the Heat. They had the ribbon out there getting ready to cut the tape. And then Ray Allen hits that big shot. They come back and lose. Like, there was zero doubt in my mind the Heat were winning Game 7. That's kind of how I feel about Minnesota right now. They're done.
Yeah, you may be right. That was
2 mutes.
That was barely. I mean, I still came back before the word was finished. I don't think that counts. Yeah, no. Look, of course, I think it's one of two things. I think it's like Minnesota responds, finds what they did during their good stretches, says, "Hey guys, if we stop committing horrible turnovers and taking ridiculous early shot clock shots that feed their break, we actually can beat this team, and they respond, or they may be broken. And I think they just get run out of the building. I'm guessing that they're going to still make this a series. But you may be right. It's going to be a lot to overcome. You can't think about it if you're them. 26 points. And then later, after their comeback, and you opened it back up to 25, I mean, the domination for basically the entire fourth period was unbelievable.
Well, and then you've got, Ja Morant last night, he ends up with 16 points. That's low for him. He had 7 turnovers in the game. It wasn't a great game for Ja Morant, and yet he ends up with a triple-double with 16, 10, and 10. So I would assume in the next game, number one, hopefully he takes care of the ball a little bit better, but also the scoring will go up from Ja Morant, and if his bad game is 16, 10, and 10, you feeling okay about that if you're the Grizzlies?
Yeah, for sure. Maybe you don't count on Brandon Clark to keep playing like that.
Maybe not.
But they've got a lot of different options. And, Desmond Bain is really he's the player who has pushed them to a different level. Ja Morant's the star, and a lot of good players, Jaren Jackson. They've got a nice deep team. But Desmond Bain, that's the guy who just has really changed them a lot. They needed another guy who can step up and hit shots going into this year. Last night he's 7 for 15 from 3, 26 points, game high. Just huge. Clark 20 off the bench. So it wasn't, there was some Tyus Jones, by the way, also like 3 huge threes. Typically Ja's backup point guard, sometimes they play together. He was big in his hometown of Minneapolis. So big win. And I thought it was almost time to just pack it in and just, all right, look toward game 4 when you've got to win to bring it home even, and now you might have broken them.
By the way, looks like that Golden State-Memphis series that you've been waiting for. It's looking likely. Golden State's going to be there. They're up 3-0, and they will probably dispose of Denver in game 4. But that's a big one for Memphis last night when it comes to that matchup that you've been waiting for the last 2 months, basically.
Yeah. Golden State, if you've been watching these games, it's basically the dream scenario of, okay, Steph is healthy, and he's coming off the bench to keep the minutes down, but he's great. Jordan Poole is great. Klay Thompson's great. And Draymond Green ties it all together on both ends of the floor. He's the one who gets guys shots. He runs the whole defense. The winning stuff he does, there aren't many players like him that I can recall in the history of the league. So around that, they got some good depth and different people. I think they're one big short. But in the matchup with the Grizzlies, that's not as big of a deal. Now, the Grizzlies also beat them this year. So also, they were missing, Klay and or Draymond, I think, in those games? Or
you going to go Avs fan on me here and just talk about how many guys were out of the lineup like the Avs fans did with me earlier this week?
I'm just saying, I wouldn't read too much into the regular season. I think it'll be a great series. The Warriors are going to have a hard time with Ja Morant, like everybody. Yeah. There's nobody on the Warriors who matches up with him. And it's not like Draymond can go 1 through 5 to a certain extent, but he can guard Chris Paul sometimes pretty well. He can't guard Ja Morant.
No.
So looking forward to it. We're already fast forwarded to that series, and that will be a stay up late. I don't care if it's a 10 p.m. on a Tuesday series.
By the way, before we get back into the A.J. Brown stuff, Roy pointing out on YouTube, we've not talked about this yet, saw in the news that Tennessee voted yes to give $500 million for the new stadium. So that was made official, I believe, through the Senate yesterday. So I think it was rejected at first, and then in retrospect, they put it back in there in review. So the $500 million has gone through for the new stadium for the Tennessee part of this.
And that was ultimately expected. There was a lot of blathering on some of the dumbest crap I've ever heard from some politicians yesterday about it. Let's talk about standing for the anthem again. Just shut up. But anyway, it's through, and now it comes down to where it was always going to be interesting, which is Metro.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens on that front. Joe, you were there yesterday for the press conference with Mike Vrabel and John Robinson, the pre-draft press conference, and there's a variety of things that were talked about. Ryan Tannehill was brought up. We've talked about Caleb Farley. Obviously, the draft itself being less than a week away. Got a lot of things to sort through there as well. But A.J. Brown may be the story of the day in terms of what's going to happen with him. Deebo Samuel has requested a trade, and Jared asked John Robinson about A.J. Brown. I think A.J. was brought up a couple of times yesterday, and John Robinson did not say anything overly committal in terms of what the contract negotiations look like and how that's going, but did say that he did not foresee the Titans moving on from A.J. Brown and trading him. What were your thoughts on John Robinson's comments on the A.J. Brown situation yesterday?
There is absolutely no chance we trade A.J. Brown. Now, if he had said that, then everyone can say, okay, put this to rest, folks. He said it, I think a well-phrased response. I don't foresee that happening. Don't foresee that happening means that you don't expect it to happen. You don't anticipate it happening. You're not saying for sure it's not happening. So I do look at those words and say there's a difference.
So how much have you shifted this week in terms of the idea of maybe A.J. Brown not being here next year and maybe he is moved? Because honestly, I think you and I were basically in the same spot a couple of weeks ago of kind of laughing at the idea of A.J. Brown not being here. And we've gone through the Jets stuff that was basically just made up by the Jets at that point. But, with Deebo Samuel's situation, with the Instagram Live, with the comments yesterday from John Robinson, how has all of that affected the way you view A.J. Brown and his situation?
It's affected it. I mean, David Beauclair earlier on the show said 2% chance that they trade him. Again, I was at 0. I was at 0. Like they're going to, because look, and here's the thing: you could go through all this stuff and have all the cryptic tweets in the world and all the Insta Live complaints in the world, and he's under contract for next year and he can hold out, but at some point he's going to play and you can tag him too if you want. I mean, you could tag him after that. So, there's a lot of different ways this could go. I guess I'd go from 0% they're going to trade him. I guess I might go up to 5%. But again, that's not nothing. I mean, it's and I'm waiting to see if there's more on his end, the way there was more from Deebo Samuel finally. I mean, if there's nothing else that happens here, I still think there's an urgency here for the Titans without knowing what is happening with their discussions with with his agent. But it's concerning. I mean, it's concerning that these things have come about the way they have. You kind of it looks a little bit, coordinated by the agent, looks a little bit tied to Deebo in some ways. And I think it's now actually legitimately worth discussing. But I still think way, 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 way more likely that he's on the team next year.
I go back to something TD said earlier when we had him on at 8 o'clock, which I agree with, and we've talked about this. If you're A.J. Brown, doesn't it make sense to kind of want to wait in this situation a little bit? You've got A.J. Brown, Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, all basically in the same situation. Now, you can debate on, is Terry McLaurin same level of wide receiver as A.J. Brown?
Yeah. That's my thing with that, is they're not.
It's not exactly the same, but TD said, if you're AJ, wouldn't you want to wait? Because, when DK Metcalf gets paid, that's going to set the stage for what you're going to make. And when, Deebo Samuel gets paid, that's going to reset the stage to what AJ Brown could make. So doesn't it make sense from his standpoint to not want to be the first one?
Yeah, I don't really agree with that because, without knowing exactly what AJ Brown wants, it could go the other way too. You'd be like, oh, Deebo signed for $22 a year. So, yeah, you think you're getting $27? No. I think it's just that you sign when you get what you want. Because I don't think it's going to be linear like that. Okay, now the next one's going to go up $500,000 and the next one another $500,000.
I mean, I don't think so either, but, Devontae Adams wanted to be the highest paid wide receiver in the league, and he was for about 4 days, and then Tyreek Hill became the highest paid wide receiver.
But that's at the very top.
It is.
So that's the difference. And that always happens, right? Somebody, I remember when Matthew Stafford got that $30 million a few years ago, and it was he's not, yeah, no way. Well, and then you knew that pretty soon, he was going to be well down the list. So, yeah, I don't think those guys are exactly all the same. So I understand what he's saying there, but to me, it's you have to know what you want, and then it's still you and them talking. I don't think that those other deals are necessarily going to direct this. But again, I think it could go the other way on him, where they're all lower than he wants. You waited. Now it's like, how could you possibly be asking for this much when they all signed for that? Maybe this market isn't as wild as we all thought.
We'll continue to take your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. By the way, the winner of our Talladega qualifiers this week, Huffy, the winner. So Huffy will be in touch with you, but you'll be going to the Arca Menard and the Xfinity Series doubleheader coming up at the Geico 500 this weekend as well. So, Huffy, congratulations. We appreciate everyone's participation on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Join ESPN 102.5 The Game for the Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament benefiting Folds of Honor coming up on May 16th at Hermitage Golf Course. Put your team together and come play with athletes, musicians, and other local celebrities. You can sign up at thegamenashville.com/golf. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Join ESPN 102.5 The Game for the Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament, benefiting Folds of Honor on May 16th at Hermitage Golf Course. Put your team together and come play with the athletes, musicians, and other local celebrities. The Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament. Sign up at thegamenashville.com/golf.
Gary Ashton here. I love hearing people say, don't sell without the intel, because it means they're really embracing our message. Now's a great time to sell your home in Nashville, but you need the intel only the Gary Ashton team can provide. Intel that helps you sell your home without any staging or showings. Intel to find your next home so you can sell your current one while the market's hot. Intel to win the buyer battle and cash in on your home equity now. Let everyone else get the same information and compete for the same properties, while you get the intel edge with the Gary Ashton team, the official real estate team for your Tennessee Titans. And if you're looking for a great career, join our team. We added 65 new agents last year, and we want you to join us this year. Remember, don't sell without the intel. And if you're looking for a great career, the Gary Ashton team wants you in 2022. Call 615-301-1650 or visit GaryAshton.com today.
The racing, the big one, the camping, it's all just bigger at Talladega. And with a doubleheader on Saturday and the premiere of the next-gen cars on Sunday, it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. NASCAR's biggest and baddest track is back. The Talladega NASCAR Weekend, April 23rd through the 24th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Family Leisure invites you to vacation at home with your family with a new spa, pool, patio furniture, or wood play gym this summer.
I really want a spa.
Family Leisure has 40 spas on display from 3 of the biggest brand names: Artesian, Best Spas, and American Select. Prices starting as low as $29.99.
What about above ground pools?
Family Leisure has hundreds of pools in stock and on sale. Guaranteed installation before Memorial Day, starting as low as $29.99. Installed.
Wow, that's great.
If you're looking at a spa, I want some new patio furniture. Family Leisure has patio furniture from all the big brand names like Hanneman, Woodard, Jensen, and Apricity. There's more than 100 sets on display to choose from with free delivery.
That sounds good to me too. And maybe a new Sabre infrared grill to go with it.
We really should look at the wood play gym for the kids. Family Leisure has the Diamond Point swing set on sale at only $24.99 installed. It's Family Leisure's vacation at home sale going on now at both huge locations, Franklin and Antioch.
Family and fun come together.
Hey, it's Jared from my friends at Hiller. Hiller is giving away free vacations for you and your family this month. With every purchase of a new whole home generator or select new HVAC systems, Hiller is giving you a free week-long vacation. With every purchase of a new tankless water heater, they're going to give you a free weekend vacation. And they're giving you a Visa Rewards card to help pay for gas to get you there. Choose from over 400 Marriott, Wyndham, Hilton, or Hyatt hotel properties. Take advantage of this unbelievable deal while you can. These deals are only available for a limited time, so schedule today. Visit happyhiller.com for all of the details.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Robby and Rexrode on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
Join 102.5 The Game tomorrow night for the Preds Bud Light Watch Party at Headquarters Beercade. You can have drink specials, enter to win Preds tickets, and watch the Preds take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's the Preds Bud Light Watch Party at Headquarters Beercade, located at 114 2nd Avenue South downtown. The puck drops at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry, if I could speak. We are live from the Hillside Medical Game Studio as well on this Friday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. Taking your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Cody on the text line says, the fan base here are the divas, not AJ. Pay that man. He's the best thing we've had here at that position for 20 years. We would be idiotic to trade him away. Everybody knows if they were out working their pay, they would want their raise and would constantly make it known that they want their money. This is coming from Cody on the text line.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement with that there, Cody. Yeah, look, I'd advise AJ, lay off the Twitter or tell us what you're actually talking about on the Twitter. Don't get on Insta Live and air the laundry and things like that. But like this anger with him, I mean, I did a mailbag today, The Athletic, so I actually had to I had to scold this. So here's a question I got. Talk me off the ledge here. Nothing derails an NFL team faster than a diva wide receiver. I love that AJ was a grinder, not your typical AB, OBJ, TO, etc. Was I wrong? Holding out after a year where you only had 869 yards, 5 touchdowns, 8.3 yards per target is not a good look. And again, it's like, earn your next contract for demand. First of all, Michael, this is the time when the contract becomes a story. This is when it's time to get a new contract. He's entering the last year of his deal. And this whole diva crap, I wish we could destroy that word. And plus, even the grinder part of that, well, he is a grinder. And those guys, now, granted, Antonio Brown, separate him into his own category of all kinds of issues. But it's an issue. We're talking about criminal crap.
Oh, yeah.
But OBJ, T.O., those guys, they may have been outspoken and they rub people the wrong way, but you don't think they were grinders to get where they got? But overall, it's just this, man, be careful what you wish for here. I understand you're upset at A.J. Brown, but understand how hard it is to find a guy like him. And also, if you take everything start to finish, his career here, off the field, it's been overwhelmingly really, really good.
Got a texter that says, I think if they could do a 2-year, $15 million a year deal to start with AJ and see if he can stay healthy. Good luck with that. So 2 years, $15 million a year.
Yeah, sounds good. Yay. Let's ignore the market completely. What did Zay Jones get? What did Christian Kirk get?
Christian Kirk's at 18, isn't he?
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's not doing. He will laugh at that, and I would advise him to laugh, and no one would even offer that because that's laughable.
Yeah.
Look, if
I get the wanting him to stay healthy part of it, but
yeah, it's. Look, that's what this is. So both sides of the table. Yeah, if you're the Titans, if you could have a crystal ball and know, and if it's still going to be on and off the field and different ailments, then you're scared away, and maybe you're like, maybe a trade here. You can get assets and all that. But if you're A.J. Brown or anyone in this league, you know how quickly it is that the axe comes and you're out of the league. And this is the time to get a deal. And that's part of the gamble of the whole thing. Now, I can see this thing that he supposedly told Deebo Samuel, who told his mom on the Insta Live thing, which is funny to say out loud. That sounds probably about right. Like if the Titans were like $20 million, again, as TD said, as Jared has said, as everybody has said, what really matters is the guaranteed money.
Yep.
But these guys compare themselves against each other, and it does matter what your annual pay is on this. And sometimes people actually play out their contracts and get the whole pay. But $20 million a year, 4 years, that sounds like a reasonable thing that I could see the Titans offering. And I get A.J. Brown pushing back on that. But to me, more than 25, more than like $100 million over a 4-year contract, again, I'm saying about 70 guaranteed, something in there. Like, you're not going past that.
Well, Stephon Diggs just got 4 years, $94 million, $70 million.
96.
Yeah, $96 million.
And 70
million guaranteed. And I'm sorry, but A.J. Brown is not better than Stephon Diggs. Now, he may one day be, but he's not been better than Stephon Diggs.
He has not been.
Quite frankly, it's not that close in terms of the stats.
But I think it should be close in terms of the contract because he's younger, and I think he can be better. That's part of the risk here.
Yeah.
You're projecting, but having watched both of them play, like if someone said you can have this guy for a full season fully healthy, or you can have this guy, who are you picking?
I mean, I'm probably still going Diggs, but I think it's close.
Okay, I'm going A.J. Brown, but it is close. I mean, I think the deal, again, especially considering age between the two of them, because the end of Diggs' deal is going to be, 32, 33 or whatever, right? I mean, that's, the guaranteed money is what matters.
Yes.
But that's where the difference between those two is. But no question in terms of what the production has been, it's not even close between Diggs and Brown.
On YouTube, K. Dottie on YouTube says, who gets an extension first, A.J. Brown or Philip Forsberg? That's become a popular question around here.
I love, was it Robin Franklin? I love that idea. Let's have the joint press conference.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
Poyle and J-Rob.
Yeah.
Trading jokes up there.
I know.
Maybe get Crispy can MC the thing.
Look, if they both signed at the same time, the city would probably throw a parade around here, so may not be a bad idea.
Who is more likely? I mean, I think pretty significantly, I think it's more likely that A.J. Brown has a long-term deal with the Titans than Forsberg with the Preds at this point. I still think both will, but I'm losing some confidence in the Forsberg thing.
I mean, the closer it gets to free agency, you got to lose confidence. I mean, if he gets there, if he gets to free agency, I mean, he's not coming back, right? I wouldn't think so. You've had all this time to work out a deal, and you get the 8th year, and all of a sudden he gets free agency. You think he's coming back?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I don't think so at all. I think he's gone. So that one's getting a little bit shaky. And the difference, of course, is that Philip Forsberg is a couple months away from free agency. A.J. Brown is entering the last year of his deal.
Right.
So, long way to go. I mean, I think Beauclair is going to end up being right with A.J. They probably won't get something done this week. They probably won't trade him. They probably won't have the deal done. He'll probably hold out. It'll probably look like a lot of situations like this, and then they'll probably, like in their normal timeline, get the deal done. I just think that if they can figure this out quickly before the draft and know exactly what the situation is going to be, and everybody's happy and put it to rest, that would be beneficial.
Andrew on the text line says, we have AJ for $4 million. He is under contract. It's idiotic to pay him any more than that with his 61% drop rate and bad knees. I don't think he's got a 61% drop rate, does he?
61% drop rate?
He drops 6 out of every 10 passes thrown his way.
I had no idea.
If that's the case, yeah, we'll pass on that.
Link, Andrew. Is this like PFF? Is this a PFF stat, Andrew? 61% drop rate. My goodness. He's the worst receiver in the history of football. He catches 39% of passes that hit his hands. The worst receiver ever. Like, he's basically a nose tackle trying to play receiver.
He's like Brett Kern out there. But, hey, Brett Kern catch the ball. Brett Kern would not have a 61% drop rate. I'm convinced.
Robbie, don't disrespect Brett Kern.
Look, Brett Kern, I've said for years, the MVP of the league.
Brett Kern wouldn't be more than like 41%, I bet. But in seriousness, other than that stat, there's just no way, Andrew, that stat's right. Please get back to us. Other than that, yeah, he's under contract. I agree. But look, A.J. Brown is, I think people are forgetting how good he is and what it would mean to lose him. Forget the history. The history is one thing, and that is brought up, and I get it. I mean, I think it should be brought up for fans. But just right now, this team, you lose A.J. Brown, yeah, you can maybe get a pick out. You can draft someone high. I have no idea if any of these receivers that are going to go in the first round will be as good as A.J. Brown. Most of them, I bet you, will not be.
Yeah.
You know, you find the Jamar Chase. And if you can get an LSU guy, get Jefferson 2 years ago, get Chase last year, and there's other guys too, but it's when you draft and develop someone like this, you hold on to him. Now, A.J. Brown, in a different way from Deebo Samuel, who I guess doesn't like how much he gets the ball.
I guess.
A.J. Brown, I could see being like, this is not the offense I want to be in. I want to be in an offense that's way more wide open. But the thing is, that's really about opportunity to then get a big deal, right? So if you get the big deal from this team, is that not enough?
I don't know.
Maybe not. Maybe there is a team out there that he covets other than the Titans.
Make sure you tune in for Nashville Sounds baseball tonight on ESPN 94.9 as the Sounds take on the Charlotte Knights, a AAA affiliate of the Chicago White Sox at First Horizon Park. Pre-game show with Jeff Himm starts at 6:20, and first pitch is at 6:35. Sounds baseball on ESPN 94.9, presented by 312 Pizza, Farm Bureau Health Plans, and Spirited Hive. Coming up next, it's time for Weekend Winners. As always, we'll take your thoughts as well on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Jamie Johnson, live in concert.
The high cost of living ain't nothing like the cost of living.
August 25th, First Bank Amphitheater.
You should have seen it in color.
With special guest Blackberry Smoke.
You could say I was lonesome.
And Megan Maroney. Jamie Johnson live. On sale this Friday, 10 a.m. Part of the Farm Bureau Insurance Concert Series. Buy tickets at livenation.com.
Realizing Geico's great service and licensed agents are available at your fingertips is like realizing the plastic piece that comes with your pizza isn't a tiny doll table. It's to keep the box from touching the pizza.
Hey, the pizza's stuck to the box. Where's that little plastic thing?
Dolly needed it for her tea party.
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly, or how your smartphone charges faster when you put it on airplane mode.
Wow, what if I put it on rocket mode?
It's something you can't believe you never realized before, like how Geico's industry-leading app lets you pay your bill, file a claim, manage your policy, or summon help when you need it. Or how those holes in your shower caddy are there so you can store your shampoo bottles upside down.
Showers happen fast when you're not waiting on shampoo.
Great service. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
Don't hunt for savings this Easter. Electronic Express has the best deals of the season. Enjoy the spring weather with brands like Yeti, Traeger, Charbroil, and more. We've also got huge savings in every department. Computers and gaming, smart home, housewares, mattresses, and more. Plus, save up to 40% on all appliances with up to 36 months free financing. Shop in-store or online with free express delivery on most items. Shop spring savings at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Trying to find a new home right now is next to impossible. Very little inventory, prices are crazy high, rates are moving up. Here's a better idea. Let my friends at Loan Pronto refinance your current home, turn all that equity you have into cash, and totally transform your house. A new kitchen, new bathroom, a pool. Think about it. Your home value is up. Instead of wasting all that on an overpriced new house, convert that equity into cash for a home makeover. One local couple did it and got $200,000 out. They added new hardwoods, an outdoor living space, a swimming pool with spa and all new cabinets and appliances, plus a home office. Now they have their dream home, and they never had to move. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their home improvement refi. Give your home a total makeover and do it now. You can even skip your next house payment in the process. Call now, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval.
ESPN's Turon Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
It's time to pick some winners. We hope. Robby and Rexrode have weekend winners for you now
on ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
And it is that time of the week, time for weekend winners here on Robby and Rexrode. Lots going on this weekend. The Preds in action, Nashville SC in action, the Grizzlies against the Minnesota Timberwolves. We'll take your thoughts on all of it. 615-737-1025. Joe Rexrode, a quick standings update in the competition. How are we doing in weekend winners?
I I'm doing pretty well, thank you. I went 4-2 with my lock last week. You guys both went 3-3, no lock. So I'm 34-20, 7-2 on the locks, 41 points. Robby 31-23, 38 points, 7-2 on the locks. And Michelle 25-29, 26 points, 1-8 on the locks. If you stop locking, Ryan's favorite teams, then I think.
Still gotta wash my car, Joe.
That's.
Today's a good day for it.
That is a pretty good day for it.
All right, let's get rolling. The Preds taking on the Lightning, going on the puck line. Joe Rexrode, you are first in the standings, so you will go first. Preds versus Lightning on the puck line.
Well, I called a shot earlier. I'm going to stick with it. I've got the Preds. Maybe a little bit of what Crispy was talking about. Lightning put 8 on the Leafs last night, used up a little bit. Preds have had this time to rest up and gear up for this game. Huge game. Saros in goal, I think. I think it'll probably be Riddick against the Wild. I'm going to go Preds.
I'm going Lightning. Give me Tampa to win this game. I think Tampa realizes they're in a race. I think Tampa wants to play Toronto in the first round, especially after you played the way you played against them last night. So I think they're going to try to help ensure that happens. So I'll go Tampa on the puck line. Michelle, Preds and Tampa this weekend. Who are you taking?
You guys already heard my called shot. Give me the Preds.
Shut out.
That's right.
4-zip.
Lightning. Don't even show up, Lightning. No goals for you.
No touchdowns either.
We'll go ahead and take care of the back-to-back for the Preds as well. So the Wild coming into Nashville. Preds hosting Minnesota coming up on Sunday. I'll start on this one. The Preds. Preds have smacked around the Wild so far this year. I think David Riddick will be in goal for that game, and I think they'll win that game. Give me the Preds on the puck line. Michelle, Preds and Wild coming up on Sunday.
I think the Preds sweep the weekend. Give me the Preds as well.
I'm going Wild. I think they get a little shot back at the Preds. I think that the win Saturday will take away any thought that John Hines might have, and maybe he wouldn't have any thought anyway, of going Saros again. It'll be Riddick. That's not great for the Preds. Give me the Wild.
So going with the Wild on the puck line. So the Grizzlies taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves on Saturday. Game number 4. Grizzlies are up 2-1 in the series. Grizzlies favored by 3 in this game on the FanDuel Sportsbook. Michelle Knezovic, Grizzlies and Timberwolves in Game 4.
See, I could see it going one of two ways. Either they just broke the Timberwolves last night and the Grizz continue to roll and win the series, which is what I'm leaning towards. But the Timberwolves' best player, Karl Anthony Towns, had one of his worst games. I think he's going to snap back. I think the Grizz ultimately win, but I don't think they cover the spread. So give me the Timberwolves +3.
So Timberwolves +3. Joe Rexrode, Minnesota hosting Game 4 against Memphis. Grizzlies favored by 3.
Well, Minnesota helped me out in Game 1 a week ago, and I think it's going to be a rally and save your season game for them, even though they completely collapsed last night. I'll take the Timberwolves and the 3 points.
Give me the Grizzlies. I think they're going to slam the door right in the face of the Timberwolves in this game. They'll be up 3-1, and they'll come back home and close it out in Game 5 at FedEx Forum. All right, we move to the individual portion of the program. Joe Rexrode, your first individual selection of the week and weekend winners.
Going with your Heat Hawks. I'm looking at tonight's games, looking at all of them for my picks. And first, we go with Heat Hawks. Hawks -1.5. Or no.
Heat.
Yeah. Wait. What is it? What is the line?
Heat's -1.5.
Yeah.
Favored.
Yeah. Heat is -1.5, not Hawks -1.5. Heat -1.5.
You said that and you were like, wait, what?
I'm like, huh? Yeah, give me the Heat. Give me the Heat and give the points.
Going with the Heat tonight, -1.5 against the Atlanta Hawks. Michelle, your first individual selection.
Going the same game as Joe. I'm picking the Heat -1.5, but I'm locking it down, guys.
Guaranteed.
Charles
Locking
Barkley,
down
favorite person
on
ever.
the Miami Heat tonight against the Atlanta Hawks. I'll go the NHL. The Minnesota Wild taking on the Seattle Kraken tonight. Minnesota's been on fire as of late. They're scoring left and right. And basically, former Nashville Predators are scoring left and right. Give me Minnesota -1.5 and making my lock. I am locking down on the Minnesota Wild against the Seattle Kraken tonight, -1.5. Michelle, your second individual selection.
My second individual selection, I know that Mr. Joe Rexrode is going to love this one. Milwaukee Bucks, Chicago Bulls. Milwaukee is favored by 2.5. Give me the Bulls. And I think they're going to win, so take them on the money line as well.
Wow. Bulls plus 2.5 tonight against the Bucks. Betting with their heart.
What? Chris Middleton's out. That's huge.
It's really not as big of a deal as people
think it is.
All right. I'll go to my second pick. Edmonton plus 1.5 against Colorado. Edmonton has been playing as well or better than anybody in the NHL as of late. They're taking on the Avalanche tonight. Colorado favored by 1.5. I don't know if Edmonton's going to win the game, but I think they'll at least keep it close. So give me Edmonton plus 1.5 against Colorado. Joe, your second individual selection.
Bucks, Bulls, Bucks, lock. Thank you. Enough said.
I literally said to Nick, I said, watch this. Joe's going to lock the Bucks.
It was already written. It was written on my file before you did what you did, which I knew you would do what you did. That's fine. Go with those crappy Chicago teams and, see what happens.
Yeah.
You really hate them.
Oh, he does.
Chicago in general?
I love Chicago. I love Chicago. I kind of love the Cubs.
Why don't you go just put ketchup on your hot dog, Joe?
You imagine a Celtics-Bulls series and what that would do for you? You'd really love that.
I know. It's just so weird, though. The Celtics are just not – honestly, the Bulls aren't even really that hateable either. It's just not how it used to be. The Celtics
the good old days.
Kind of likable, which is just weird. I don't like it.
All right, our final individual selections. The LA Galaxy taking on Nashville SC tomorrow night. It's going to be a good game. They're close in the standings. I'll go Galaxy to win. They'll win 1-0 tomorrow. So I'll go the Galaxy to win the game, and that sets up a big week next week for Nashville SC as they open up Geodis Park. But I think the Galaxy get it done, and then the road trip for Nashville SC drawing to a close with them coming back home next week. Joe Rexrode, your final individual selection.
I'm going to do the clean sweep of NBA playoff games tonight, and I'm going to go Suns, Pelicans. Pelicans are getting 1.5 and, of course, Devin Booker is out. I think that's a bigger deal, and I'm going to take the Pelicans.
So going with the Pelicans. Michelle Knezovic, your final individual selection.
Okay, that was mine for the same reason, but I'm not going to do that because it's not going to be fun if Joe and I have the same picks. So
y'all do realize that sports other than basketball are taking place right now.
I did not realize that, actually.
The basketball's been very good to me. Very, very good to me.
How about this? Nets minus 3.5 against the Celtics. I do think that the Nets bounce back. They're going back to Brooklyn. I think KD gets his stuff together. Minus 3.5. Give me the Nets.
There you go. Got a text that says, Robby thinking Middleton isn't important, obviously didn't watch last year's finals. I didn't say he wasn't important. I said it's not as big of a deal as people think it is.
He's very important. They're not going to win it all without him. But they're playing the stinking Bulls. Bulls suck. Come on. Can't wait to see Ryan Porce, can the Bulls have the mental fortitude?
Step up in the moment and handle Chris Middleton being out of the lineup.
Hub Arkush and I are on a Twitter Sounds. What's it called? Twitter Room. What's it called?
Get it right. Spaces, Joe.
Thank you, Twitter Spaces. Twitter Spaces. Hub Arkush and Ryan Porth on the Bulls.
Dustin in Hopkinsville texting in says, the Wild will win on Sunday. Fiala has a big game and a goal against us. Fiala's been playing well.
Fiala's on a heater.
He is on a heater. He played well. He had like this one-touch pass at the blue line last night, and then it went to Freddie Gaudreau, and he fed it back to Fiala. It was pretty. Fiala's playing pretty darn well.
Freddie Hockey and Fialander together. Man, what a pair.
Yeah. Ryan from Chicago texting in says, I'd like to say, live from my cubicle, thank you to the state of Michigan and city of Detroit for all these free wins over the years. This is coming from Ryan from Chicago.
Boy.
Okay, but he wouldn't come in here and say it in person to you, Joe.
Oh.
And he's actually much bigger than me. He beat the crap out of me. Let's be honest. And that I'm saying that for all of you who text weird things to Michelle on the text line, too. Her boyfriend's pretty big. Now, if you want to talk about my feet, what did Sean say earlier to Michelle on the text line?
That he would give her your sock. You know how Sean loves your feet.
Yeah. I don't know where to go from there.
Brian on the text line says, there won't be a game on Sunday. It'll be more like a Royal Rumble. That's coming from Brian. Talking about Preds Wild. Last time they met, I felt like the Wild were like, oh, man, we're going to show these guys. We've gotten more physical at the trade deadline. We're going to fight. Okay. Yeah. Didn't work out so well for them.
Yeah, they clearly came out with that as a mindset. That it will be really interesting. Like, is that what you're trying to do again? mean, the best revenge is just to beat the team, like on the scoreboard. So it'll be interesting. I just have a feeling that they're going to get him, especially with Riddick in goal.
West Side. First off, big save Dave. He can come up big.
Yeah,
again.
he can. He could.
West Side on the text line says, this Michigan boy doesn't like it either. I now root for Vanderbilt and Memphis, but something deep in my gut won't let me choose Ohio State or the Bulls in almost any circumstance. This is coming from West Side on the text line.
So West Side, you're confirming that Joe's bitter.
Maybe. No, I think he's siding with Joe.
I'm not bitter.
Not rooting for the Bulls.
I'm happy for Jordan that he finally got one win against the Bad Boys and finished 1-3 in his career.
There we go.
Good for him.
I knew that'd get back in there at some point. We'll continue to take your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Sunshine all day long today with highs heading up near a record. Forecast high, 85. Record high, 86.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Spring has sprung, which means it's time to renew your home with Social Furniture. It's their Spring Fling sale, where all furniture is up to 50% off. That's right, up to 50% off on top name brands such as Serta, Sealy, Simmons, Caracol, Bernhardt, and Woodhouse. At Social Furniture, you'll find new bedroom furniture, mattresses, and sofas, all up to 50% off. Spring into Social Furniture today on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local, shop social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Make plans with the Preds. Whether it's a night out with friends, a date night with that special someone, or a work outing, it's the ticket package for you. Introducing the new Hockey Hall Pass presented by Assembly Food Hall, complete with 2 tickets to a Nashville Predators game and a $30 Assembly Food Hall gift card. Visit NashvillePredators.com/Hall Pass to buy yours now. Secure your Hockey Hall Pass today to receive this incredible value. That's NashvillePredators.com/Hall Pass. That's NashvillePredators.com/Hall Pass.
Bring your hive together with Spirited Hive. It's Hive O'Clock. What is Hive O'Clock? It's connecting or celebrating with your hive. A time to be present and create shared memories. At Spirited Hive, we become aficionados discerning what goes best with bourbon, tequila, and vodka. Bourbon whiskey with rosemary infused with honey and lemon, tequila ginger infused with honey and lime, or vodka cranberry infused with honey and lime. Available to purchase on reservebar.com or tap room for delivery within the hour. Join us at Spirited Hive on Instagram to see what the buzz is all about.
Step up to the plate with Days Date. As one of the only Delta 8 brands that is truly single-sourced, quality and consistency is our guarantee. We are local and aim to provide the purest product while educating the consumer every step of the way. Stock up with Days next time at your local smoke shop. Visit us on Instagram at days.d8.official to learn more about our wide array of products and special offers. To browse our product line, visit dazed8.com, DAZED, number 8.com, the highest quality standard of Delta 8.
Floyd Mayweather launched Mayweather Boxing and Fitness when he officially retired as a 50-0 champion. Introducing the first Mayweather Boxing and Fitness location in Nashville. Perfect for all fitness levels. Join a community that will help every person unleash their inner champ. Become a founding member today. Stop by the studio at 2041 Broadway, Suite C, or call 629-206-9092 to join the family exclusive. Pre-opening rates now available. Mayweather Boxing and Fitness, the gold standard in boxing fitness.
So, what is Jared Stillman going to say this afternoon?
You got to play if you want to earn $14.6 million next year.
Oh, brother, here we go.
But I'm done on investing money in dudes that can't get on the field.
Tune in to Stillman and Company, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6.
This is some serious stuff right here.
Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
This is Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Welcome back in. Final segment of the day here on Robby and Rexrode, brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezovic, intern Nick here with you on this Friday morning. Taking your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. Kathlina on the text line says, If Poyle lets Forsberg go without getting anything for him, then Poyle needs to walk out the door right behind him. It's coming from Kathlena on the text line. Well, at this point, that ship has kind of already sailed. He's either going to sign or he's not, but you're not getting anything for him. And I guess you could trade his rights before free agency. Get like a 5th rounder.
There's a thought. Yeah, it's there's a lot at stake here for David Poyle and the Nashville Predators, both on the ice in the next week, and things look pretty good right now. But certainly, it's not over. And then certainly, the double the double whammy of not making the playoffs and not signing Forsberg is quite a double whammy. But even if you do make the playoffs and you lose Forsberg, it's a killer.
Yeah. Liam on the text line says, the text line must be a very weird place. I guess I kind of get why Jared avoids it. Kudos to you, Robbie, for crawling through it like Shawshank. This is coming from Liam on the text line.
It just
Call me Andy Dufresne. Getting out of there.
The occasional, borderline comment about Michelle and about my feet. I mean,
People leave me alone for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I'm surprised we don't have any, we don't have more like beard admirers on the text line. If you'd like to send Robbie a weird message about his beard, it's
Please
there for
come
you.
out of the walls right now.
We invite you. 615-737-1025.
Crawling through it like Shawshank.
It's good.
Yes.
Seen that movie.
Haven't.
It's a good movie. Really? My goodness.
We get it, okay? I gotta get on the bandwagon.
Really?
You actually acted surprised.
I didn't think that was possible. Because that's like that movie that's always on, like it's always on TBS.
Yeah. Keith on the text line says, wow, did y'all see this? Dabo Sweeney and Debo Samuel are opening a business together in Colorado, a smoke shop called Dabo Debo Doobies. Have a good weekend. It's coming from Keith on the text line. I knew he was crafting something together between Dabo and Debo, and Keith, you've done it. Thank you.
I like Dabo Debo Doo, but I like the Doobies too. Yes. Good stuff.
Got a text that says, losing A.J. Brown means we run the ball more, which means more focus on Derrick Henry, which leans more on Tannehill to pass the ball. This is coming from a texter on the text line. So we're running the ball more, which will then lead Tannehill to pass the ball more. I'm not following that one.
That is still better than the...
I guess it means they're going to put all of their attention without A.J. Brown on Derrick Henry, which means you're going to have to pass.
Okay.
Because there's 9 in the box or whatever.
Yeah, losing A.J. would be bad.
It would not be good.
Let's all agree on that. Also, by the way, the 61% catch rate, or 61% drop rate... So there is that stat. The 61% is the catch rate on targets, right? I mean, that's the reference. Now remember, targets don't have to. That doesn't mean accurately thrown targets. It means
you
targets.
Can throw the ball in A.J. Brown's general direction, and it's 5 yards out of bounds. Right. That's a target.
Like when you overthrow him on a deep ball when he's wide open, that's a target that he didn't catch, but that's not on him. So I don't know what the. I mean, I'm sure that there's league leaders on that. I don't know where 61% would be, but that stat is just as much a quarterback stat as it is a
It is, but it was also very fun to think about a 61% drop rate. That'd be awesome.
Hey, AJ, hey, you're catching a third of the balls that hit your hands. God, come on back, buddy. How about $30 million a year?
$20 million a year. Yep. Yeah. John from Columbia texting in says, been talking about A.J. Brown all this week. Enough is enough. Move on to something else.
Nope, now we're going to – that's it. Because you said that, we got 4 minutes left, and that's all I'm talking about, A.J. Brown. I think that we've done a pretty good job of mixing things up compared to some shows that shall not be named.
Yeah. I would say so.
Yeah, we do. We talked Grizz. We talked Preds. We talked it all.
Is Jared going 4 hours of AJ today? What do you think?
I don't know. I have to find out.
I want to reiterate again that I heard Jared say yesterday that I asked a question about Tannehill because Jared was at the press conference.
Is there any truth to this?
Does he actually think that, or he just said that to get under my skin to get a reaction? That's what it is, right?
Don't know.
He doesn't actually think that.
Just imagine.
Is he out of his freaking mind?
Well, he may be, but just imagine if you showed up to the press conference wearing a suit, then he'll really thought it was for you. You know how he feels about the suits.
That's right.
But did you feel a certain pressure yesterday at the Vrabel Robinson press conference that, oh, man, crap, Jared's here.
Yeah.
I got to ask good questions.
I want to impress Jared. Jared, hold on, Jared. Actually, I asked the Tannehill question.
Jared will say mean things about me and Jared versus Joe if I don't. I got to get over here.
Yeah. I mean, I asked the Tannehill question because we were getting close to the end of the presser and no one had, so sometimes it's like, all right, well, someone needs to ask about Tannehill, so I'll ask about Tannehill. Jared claims he was going to, but he didn't. He sat there, and then he kept asking about, 2019, and, it's fine.
Shout out to Joe. Joe
Shout out
asked
to Joe
the
for that question.
Joe Rexrode asked the question of Vrabel about Tannehill not being there at workouts.
No, keep going.
There was no more. They didn't say that. They didn't say that part, but I just had that part for you.
So they cut off the part where the next thing he says is, and I'm pretty sure it's because I was there.
I think he said it a couple of times in the show, but that was to start their show.
Okay, great.
And I texted Ian. I was like, "Can you please clip Joe or Jared congratulating Joe?" Because I know you would enjoy it.
Have you unmuted him yet?
Oh, hell no. Had a nice talk with Jared and Corey Curtis, Luke Worsham after like his show, like him. I'm very happy to not have to see what he tweets.
He's also ducking out on our basketball tournament this weekend.
Yeah, he claims that was scheduled because we knew he was on Sirius XM at that time. Yes, because all we do is obsess about Jared. Here's on the text. I know Joe's beard, the beard that is feared, the beard that non-beard lovers might think is weird. This is an ode to Joe. Happy Friday.
There you go.
Oh, Joe's beard, the beard that's feared, the beard that non-beard loves might think is weird. That's good. Who is this?
Got to put your name?
No name on that. Viking Matt says beards rule.
He also says Jared does 4 hours of Festivus every show. You guys rock. The airing of grievances.
Did Jared hold their feet to the fire?
I got a lot of problems with you people.
The feats of strength. Airing of grievances.
Joe, don't start talking about feet.
Do you understand? Yeah, well.
Watch out.
I get Festivus.
They're quite oiled today, Sean.
I know what Festivus is.
You do? Good. Okay.
Oh. Well,
there's nowhere to
go. I don't know what to do to transition out of that. Joe, your final thoughts on the weekend of sports coming up. What event are you looking forward to the most? You got the Preds, you got Nashville SC, you got NBA playoffs.
The NBA playoffs have been good. They're going to get great, but no, I'm really looking forward to the Preds games, to seeing if they can make it so that they're not going to Arizona next week in a desperate situation, because that is not. I know it's Arizona, but you don't want
that pressure.
You don't want that pressure and them to have that opportunity to relish, to ruin yours. So I'm very intrigued to see how the Preds come out tomorrow after this break and how they play against a great team on the road. They're gonna earn it. I mean, the next 4 games are very tough.
DJ Burnside on Twitter has photoshopped your face on Will Smith's body and Jared Stillman's face on Chris Rock's body and the follow-through of the slap. So that's how we'll close out this weekend here on the program. That's going to do it for us today here on Robby and Rexrode, ESPN 102.5 The Game. We'll be back on Monday morning to break down a very busy weekend in the world of sports and look ahead to the NFL Draft next week as well. Darren Donick and Chase up next. This is ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Did you see the Tennessee